this. Twitch. Bazinga Saturday stream. Got him. Yo, what's up? Fallout 76 is free? Probably. I have no intention of playing Fallout 76 because I heard nothing but horror stories when the game first came out. And also, I'm just not a Fallout guy, you know? Some might say I'm not a Fallout boy. Got it. Still got it. Still got it, Stream Tom. God, Stream, you're so funny and handsome. Anyway, what are we talking about? John, can you explain how Dark Hunter is good at trapping when they are dex or wisdom based? Absolutely. Absolutely. I love talking about this. All right, Bilk, get ready. Strap in, okay? I want your eyes glued to the screen. You look anywhere else, you're in trouble. Check this out. Enhancements. Boom. Dark Hunter or Druid. No, Ranger. What the hell am I talking about? Ranger. DH. Dark Hunter. Check this out. Boom. See this enhancement tree? You're like, I understand. Where's it all coming from? How am I supposed to disable traps? We scroll down. Tier 4, Lupine Instincts. Your wolf inherits your search and spot scores. That's already pretty nice, but the wolf sucks. You're probably not going to summon it. Second line. You gain primal bonus to search and disable device skill bonus equal to your wilderness lore feats. You're a pure ranger. Guess what? You got an extra plus 20 to your search and disable device. That's 20 over top of everybody else. So that way, even though you might not have the highest intelligence, guess what? You can still get it done. That's right, plus 20. And that's why I recommend it. It's good for that. On top of that, you also happen to get awareness. So listen, search, and spot. So you want to take this anyway, because listen, search, and spot is also good. So the only thing you're worried about is your disable device skill. Because you're going to get the extra search and spot here. Then you play an elf. You get plus 2 search and spot for being an elf. You get an extra 3 from the elf tree. You get 3 here. That's plus 8 search and spot, which is pretty sick. And then on top of that, you get the plus 20 here. I mean, now you might not play an elf, but you should. Got my JB Weld for skin ready. JB Weld? JB Weld. JB Weld. JB Weld, strongest bond. Yeah, bond. Epoxy. Hell yeah. No, with the next update, Dark Hunter is still going to be a better starter trapper because Rogue doesn't get that. So if you play as Dex Rogue, it'll be better for like starting the game, but you're still going to run into issues being able to disable traps as you go through the game. Okay. We need to get rid of this and this and this and this. I don't know what class to reincarnate into for my last life before I turn Warlock. What did you guys suggest? You guys suggested Alchemist and it was good fun and I sprinted through it. Now what? Throw your ideas in the comments. I probably won't do them, but throw them in anyway because you never know. Erosion. Barovian Scepter. Barovian Scepter? Delete. And delete this. And shield fragment. Delete that. I think I got everything done. Cleric, Barbarian, Favored Soul, Dark Apostate, Falconer, Solo Guided Ranger, Caster, Fighter, Loke, the Falconer. Do a build never done before. I do builds never done before every day. It hurts me, personally. Only 20, yeah, I'm only going to 20. I'm just getting for a past life. Pacifist Cleric with heal spells only. I mean, I like that. I do like that. 2 people said Falconer. Can you make a Falconer that's undead? Excellent question. What would I do if I was a Falconer? Now, Falconer can be fun. I haven't played Monk in a while because Monk is cool. And I haven't tried out the new Henshin Mystic, but really it would only be for leveling purposes. And I don't know how relevant that would be. This is an excellent question. Make a summoner. I would rather grab a fork and painfully try to shove it through the middle of my hand than play a summoner. Like, forks are not sharp. It's very dull. And I would rather try to work it through the center of my hand, ripping my flesh apart, instead of playing a summoner character all the way through. Because the fork thing will at least be more fun. You go Dark Monk since Vamp heals. Dark Mark? Compared to a spoon? Yeah, but compared to a sharp object, they're not. Would it be against Twitch TOS? No, you wouldn't see it. I would just do it. All these interesting questions. Let's see here. Stream. I mean, the idea of being like Dampier, so when you hit, you get healing is kind of interesting. Two-Panded Paladin multi-class. The problem with that is that the multi-class is Dragon Lord and it really kicks in at 12. So yeah. The problem with Dark Apostate Cleric is that Dark Apostate Cleric is just bad. There's just like no other way around it. Like this is like just not good. I could do it anyway. I don't really want to. Arcane Archerer. Archerer with a bow. Bow Archerer. Do I want to play an archer? Do I want to play a bow character? Do I want to play a ranged character for leveling? Do I hate myself that much that I would play a ranged character? Bow Cleric? Vampire Monk? I mean, people do like Vampire Monk. That's a thing that people like, right? Like, that's very popular. People go like, yo, Vampire Monk is like sick. I get that question all the time. Like, yo, Strim, is like Dampier Monk really good or is it like extremely good? And I'm like, I don't think it's good at all. I don't see the synergy, but maybe it's there. Dark Apostate. Hold on, I'm thinking. I'm hurting myself. What if we do... I mean, Dark Apostate is actually not horrible. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I'm thinking. I need to look at some things. Yes. I see. Yes. What does this do? What's this? Yes. Okay, I have an idea. So we're gonna be doing Dark Apostate, Monk, Falconer. Yep. Henchman Mystic. Quarterstaff, Wisdom. Yep. Dampier, Quarterstaff, Wisdom, Dark Apostate, Monk, Falconer. I think that hits everything everybody said in chat at the same time. So that should be fine. Yeah, it seems good. Seems good. Okay, so we need Tumble. We need... You don't get heal on a monk? Wow, unlucky, dude. Okay, UMD, obviously. Jump. Concentration is probably important. Spot. Hell yeah. All right. Yeah, you want 36-point builds called Play the Video Game. You got it. Yeah. So here's the thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 3 Monk, because 3 Monk gives access to Dark Monk, which means out of Henchman Mystic, I can pick up Kata of Ice, which allows me to stun or freeze enemies. as well as get the battle trance. We're going to be a falconer, so we get all the falconry abilities. We're going to be a cleric, war domain, which gives me access to holy sword, so I actually get the bonus critical threat range and all that. And I can go dark apostate, so I can get some of the negative stuff and the imbue stacking. Why spot? So I can see things. I got to open my eyes to the possibilities. Power attack. Do I take power attack? Power attack and cleave? No, that's exclusively bad. What feats do I want? I want like all the damage feats. I want the damage feats. Do I want dodge? Do I want whirlwind attack? Whirlwind attack's like kind of good. Do I want whirlwind attack? I have 3 monk. Do I want whirlwind attack? I want whirlwind attack. Whirlwind attack's kind of good. I want whirlwind attack. Whirlwind attack. Do I want whirlwind attack? I can't take Swords to Plowshares at level 1. What's going on? First time watcher? Aquatic Demon. I am setting up a character build, and I wanted ideas from the chat to tell me what I should play. People gave me a bunch of conflicting ideas, and so I decided, what if we did all of it at the same time? So I'm trying to combine most of what I read in the chat into one thing. Two-handed fighting. I can take dodge. Then we can take mobility later. This seems good. Are you going to use shield? What? No, I'm going to use quarterstaff. Quarterstaff. Hell yeah. Are we lawful good? We got to be lawful, so we might as well be good. We're going to be the lawful good dark apostate. Dark apostates can be good, right? Yeah, I think so. So the idea here is some people said monk, some people said falconer, some people said dark apostate. So we're going to be a dark apostate monk falconer, which means we're going to be using quarterstaffs and wisdom to hit and damage on this character. Tome check. My tomes are still here. Beautiful. So we're going to be using quarterstaff, dark wisdom hit and damage, using Henshin Mystic to get the wisdom hit and damage, as opposed to falconry. Falconry, you might think that it is actually better to use. But the thing about falconry is it takes more points to be able to get invested, which takes a little bit longer to get into. So it would take me longer to get access because I have to spend more points. And because I'm not taking wisdom hit and damage or the trance, it means that in falconry, I can take more of the attacks. Maybe I can invest more points in them for more direct damage. I can take some of the extra melee power and basic stats while getting some of the good stuff in Henshin Mystic. Grabbing this stuff here, getting the attack and damage well centered, grabbing the imbue, maybe grabbing dodge cap, grabbing the better trance, and grabbing the freeze, the Kata of Dark. And then I can also use Dark Apostate and the Dampier Tree, so it's going to be kind of sick. Oh yeah, and the quarterstaff attack speed. Didn't they add that somewhere? Oh, and it's here. Ho, ho, ho. Beautiful. I forgot about that. I forgot that they added that to Henshin Mystic with the rework, which was a awesome decision, by the way. Awesome decision. Yeah, correct. I have 3 universal tomes, 3 racial tomes, and then 15 racial points. So I start with a lot of points at level 1. It's like a cheat code.
However, some hopeful souls still hold out for help to arrive.
That's why you did quarterstaff? Nope. I just wanted to do quarterstaff. So yeah. Okay, we want wisdom, so we're gonna go ocean stance. I should probably just have fire stance on at the beginning. I don't need these stances. Get rid of this. Maybe we use trip. Maybe we use sunder for a bit. Get rid of that. Feats. But no, I didn't plan this out. I'm just kind of like on my last life, and I had people yell at me what I should play. And when people yell at you to play stuff, it makes it really easy to like make decisions because I don't have to do any thinking. It just kind of comes out naturally. Because when somebody goes, do this, and it's like, oh, okay, sounds good. We'll actually, let's do the scoundrel, so I don't have to worry about movement speed. Faster movement speed in town, and I'm a monk, so I get even more movement speed. Woohoo! Do the roll? Roll. There you go. I got your roll. It's gonna take me a little bit. But yeah, this is my last racial life, and then we're done. Which means this character will then be turning into a warlock, because last time I had racial completionist, which was before Eladrin, and then I kind of took like a year off so I had to get the racial lives back. I did Racial Completionist with Warlock, and it was fun to play, but obviously it was not as impressive. However, Warlock has changed a lot since then. Since last time I played Warlock, the pact damage went from a D4 to a D6. The base damage went from a D6 to a D8. There is now the Power in Pact passive on 2 items in the game, a pair of bracers and a necklace that gives +3 pact dice. And there is now pact damage and base damage, both lunar and solar augments, that didn't exist before. So there we go. Last ratio you're gonna cap in 12 hours. I did that for the first one. How do I do a roll? I'll do it again. What's up, Matus? How are you doing? So yeah, I'm just gonna take the time to like get my character set up. Obviously, this is not a real representation of a character, so I don't plan on making like a build for you guys to follow with this character, because it would be really unfair for me to go like, yo, check out how amazing this build is when, you know, I'm doing a racial completionist that has insane stats. So we're not gonna do that. But I'm gonna grab this stuff. I am going to play this regardless because I think it's going to be fun. Am I going to level up from this? 2,000? Nice. I'm going to start at level 2 with some stats. Ready to TR? Hell yeah. The nice thing about DDO, and this is how I've done it, so if I actually mouse over my past lives, it's kind of erratic. I got different heroics, epics, racials, and iconics. And the reason is, for me personally, I never like straight farmed it. Like I'm doing it right now because I want to get it over with. But for almost all of my past lives, I just did what I thought sounded cool, and that was it. So I didn't go like, oh, I'm going to do 3 Azamar lives, and 3 Dampier lives, and 3 Dragonborn, then 3 Drow Elf. I didn't do that. I was just like, oh, I'm going to play this, and it happens to be a Drow, and I need that. Good. Oh, I want to play this. It happens to be this. And so for me, getting to Racial Completionist was just like, I just played the game, and it just sort of happened, which is a really nice feeling. Obviously, I say it just sort of happened. It just sort of happened over the course of like, you know, a bunch of years. But my other character that I have is encroaching on Racial Completionist as well. And that character I made in 2021. So it's interesting. Mobility. I probably should have taken power attack. I don't know why I didn't. That Phoenix build from Albar. Yeah, good luck. I hope it's good. Yeah, I remember when Albar was doing the Phoenix build to roll through like the Strahd raid solo and several other solo raids, which is really, really sick. There's some cool stuff you can do with that. But I don't know how well it handles it since Ascendance is gone, which you used to use to resurrect yourself from the dead. How did I get a free level? Oh, so whenever you use a daily dice roll, it gives you an XP gem, and then you can bank those for a rainy day. And then when I TR, I use my XP gems to get to level up. Okay. I know what I'll get for a reincarnation. It depends. To Phoenix to get a build. But Doug, think about how warm it is, okay? Think about how it's a city that literally can't exist where it is without technological intervention because of how devastatingly hot and dry it is there. Doesn't that sound like a great place to go? I actually do think that it is like a marvel of human engineering that people live in Phoenix when they don't have to. It's like basically living adjacent to the sun on planet Earth. And there's other places you could live in the United States of America where the temperature is so much lower and there's so much more rain. But people are like, no, Phoenix, that's where we're going to live. Kind of love it. Phoenix builds and stuff is different. Yeah. Upsetting Bobby. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he felt like a disturbance in the way, in like the force. And like showed up. I was like, what are you saying? He doesn't live in Phoenix, so he just lives in Arizona. And he is the first one to remind me that not all of Arizona is a desert wasteland. Only some parts of Arizona are a desert wasteland. which is fair. Upsetting? Yeah, it's like when you say upsetting, but you spell it wrong. Max Raider builds hasn't done any of his cool, goofy builds. Yeah, but, you know, everybody takes, like, time to go through this stuff. Like, sometimes people work on different things. It's like, I took 8 months off to not make anything, so I ended up getting back into it, but it took me a while. And similarly, like, the Beginner Basics is a project I wanted to get done for many, many, many years. But due to lack of willpower on my part, I just never really committed to actually finishing out the whole project. Now I'm very committed. In fact, you're going to get a new Beginner Basics video tomorrow. How exciting is that? So I'm still stoked to work on the project and to keep doing stuff, but you know, sometimes your motivation can wax and wane or other priorities happen and you just have to kind of go with the flow. But yeah, it's all going to depend. Canada or a desert wasteland too? Yeah, but it's a different kind of desert wasteland, and thanks to changing climate over time, some of those areas that are desert wasteland are becoming warmer, which is actually not a good thing. But, you know, it's less of a desert wasteland. Anyway, keep going through things. Also, I empty out my entire TR cache every time I TR. One, it makes it so it's less painful when I do the reincarnation, because I don't have to empty out the cache. And two, by emptying out the TR cache, you actually have less lag, which is good. I really should go and get rid of all of these old artifacts, but I can't bring myself to do it right now. Hold on. LGS? What the fuck is this? Fire crit LGS? I'm never using this fire crit LGS gloves. Fire spell crit damage LGS is going to die. Water
Quest
spell crit
completed.
LGS. Is that all three?
Hey,
Oh my
Stone
lord,
Torn,
these are so
it's
expensive.
Brian. I want to congratulate you on successfully being able to stream on a Saturday, because the weekends are a drab, dull wasteland of unending horror, kind of like Wayfinder, when you aren't around.
Aw. Thank you, Matus. I appreciate your kind words. And I hope I can make your Saturday just a little bit better. Or worse. I like doing some of those things. But welcome back to the stream team for 44 months. Can you believe it's been that long? Can you believe it's been that long? Hey, Rachel Letters, how you doing? You'll soon be underground. Yeah, I don't like that. Thornblade Pilskers enough. Trying to justify the boredom of the TR Zerg train? I don't know what you mean. I don't find the TR Zerg train boring. Luthan, what do you mean by... Sorry, I wasn't reading YouTube chat because I have a bad habit of not doing that. What do you mean by the boredom of the TR Zerg train? Like, are you implying that I find it boring? Because I personally don't. But if you find it boring, then you just got to find ways to make things not boring. The trick that I find when it comes to boredom is you just have to let yourself be bored and then come up with ideas to solve your boredom. I think it's really easy to just like be bored and then reach and grab your phone or go on social media or like just kind of let something else entertain you. But for me, I enjoy like finding something that to like occupy my brain. So I oftentimes will do that. I will just like find ways to entertain myself. And that's pretty much how I make DDO fun, because DDO is like the toy box that keeps giving, where there's always like new stuff inside of it all the time that I can like new toys I can play with, different builds, different ways to put stuff together. So I currently enjoy it. But yeah, does stream exist on a Saturday? No, I'm actually a hallucination. All of us. I'm a hallucination for everybody, by the way. I am our collective hallucination. I have a vampire bite. I should go undead, right? That's like cool. I should go undead. Let's do it. Negative amp. Turn undead. I guess stunning DCs, which is kind of sick out of this tree. So I guess I take magic resistance rating and cap. All this seems bad. We grab stunning DCs. Deathly bite, I guess, is relevant. And I don't need any of the stuff up here, so I'm not going to take it. Boring. Making ore holes. I can see that. Like, there definitely are things that are just going to be boring. You can't really do a whole lot about. Is it the Ipsum leveling path or the final TR? No, it's so stupid. I don't know why you let Ipsum con you into doing bad things. Ipsum's like, hey, do you want to do this thing that's going to make you angry and make you unhappy? And you're like, yeah, okay. No way. I can get conned into doing a lot of things that make me unhappy and make me angry, but not by Ip Man. All right, Snowy Owl. Yeah, I like Snowy Owl. That's good. Animal's favorite enemy, so we're going to go hit and damage. The healing amp is actually not helpful here, which is really interesting. I don't really need it. This plus the attack speed. I am attack speed Monkman. Go here. Do I get action boost haste? I have to go ninja spy to get action boost haste. I'm going to do that because it's really good. Okay, we need to get 100 heroism potions and 100 haste potions. But yeah, right, I can only buy them in packs of 100 at a time. And we will be running Reaper mode, although I'm not going to run Reaper mode until I have a way to hit Reapers with my attacks. And because I can't hit Reapers with my attacks for quite a while, I will not be running Reaper mode right away. Not quite a while, I need to hit level 3. Once I hit level 3, I'll be able to hit Reapers with my attacks, but not before, which is unfortunate. And then Jib goes down here. I have this, I have this. Heroism potions goes here. Hand wraps. I don't need hand wraps because my staff can't break. It can. It's an adamantine staff. Well, I'm going to hit oozes with it anyway. Ghost Touch Trinket at level 1. No, I have a Ghost Touch Trinket for level 3. Double your attack speed or double your damage. Most of the time, double your attack speed. And the reason why is because double your attack speed means you can make more actions per second, which means you can change your action. So in between each attack, I get to decide to do something different, whereas I don't have a choice. If in double damage, I'm like locked into my attack until it's over. Book of Spirits. The Book of Spirits is level 3, but that is the item I want to get. Yep. I just don't really run Heroic Borderlands ever, so I don't want to do it. Yeah, Book of Spirits right here. Ethereal Trinket. And I can get my Skullduggery cap as well. Oh, crap. Well, that's going away. Some extra wisdom, and yeah, away we go. Nah, it's fine. We're just gonna skip it. Okay. Do I have my 50s? My beautiful 50s? Oh, 50% XP potion. Okay. And I'm going to do what I always do, which is go and run Korthos. Because I always run Korthos at the beginning. I have more Rachel points to spend, but I'm waiting to spend them on other stuff. I'd go with the double health because I don't like it when video games reduce attack speed. I hate getting slower. Getting slower feels really bad in video games. The location in DDO I haven't been to for the longest time. What area have I been to the least? A lot of quests, because there's just some quests that suck. No, I had to go to Ataraxia a lot for the during the Giga Lag Fest to be able to use the bank. We all went to Ataraxia. You can hear the telltale Threnal? No, I went to Threnal like a week ago because a guild member did a like guess where I am challenge and posted a picture of Threnal, so I had to go take a picture of myself in Threnal to prove I knew where it was. God, it's always got to be the last one, huh? Thunderholm? No, I did Slayers recently. Maybe Twilight Forge? Twilight Forge could be correct. Ooh, TOD is a good one. I haven't done TOD in a while. It's probably been 4 years, maybe, since I did TOD. So, yeah, I've been to Amrath regularly. I go to Amrath, like, pretty often, I would say. Cyber Atoll, I do go to Cyber Atoll. Yeah, probably TOD specifically, if I had to pick a point. 50 damage at level 2. Yeah, it's past lives, baby. Yeah, exactly. You get the Yugo pots. The House C quests. I had to do the House C quest recently because I ran out of the crafting material.
Ahead is the cellar where the Caneth crystal.
Why are we doing TOD? Because I wanted to do TOD. That's it. I was just like, I want to do this quest, so I ran it.
From the magic crystal Boldar spoke of. But from the shadows approach those who would doom Kothos
Necro
by
1.
destroying it.
I haven't done probably since hardcore because there's no reason to do Necro 1 at basically any point. Got good stats for leveling. I have 2. I have this staff that I'm going to be using, which is a staff I crafted. It is a smashing 1, adamantine quarterstaff of bludgeoning 1, so it adds a d6 force and a d6 bludgeoning damage, and then it's also a quarterstaff. And then the other thing is the elemental bloom for level 7. Sorrow Dusk? I like Sorrow Dusk. Sorry. Some of you don't, but yeah, I like it. Necro 3. So I do sometimes do one of the quests in Necro 3 during my TR path. Man, I missed the Intimidate. I missed everything on this guy. Am I going to fail this? Honestly, maybe. Now we're good. Haunted Halls of Evening Star has been a while. The last time I did Haunted Halls, it actually bugged out and I couldn't finish it. I want to do Haunted Halls more often, but there's the room, the statue room, where you have to like kill the doppelganger. And I find I have, almost every single time I've done that quest, it bugs out and you can't actually progress through the room. And I don't know how you're supposed to get through it. They might have fixed that bug, but the last time I did it, we got stuck and I couldn't do anything. Plate armor caster is possible? Yep. As long as you have proficiency, absolutely. So, like, it's not terribly difficult to get if you do a multi-class. So you can do, like, either as a Warforge, because adamantine plating is full plate, but you don't need proficiency for it. So adamantine plating plus Sorcerer Wizard with Eldritch Knight. Eldritch Knight, the third core gives 15% arcane spell failure reduction, and the fourth core gives 20%, and they are additive for a total of 35% arcane spell failure reduction. And that also applies separately to a shield, so you can wear a large shield and full plate or adamantine plating, which gives you a total of usually 50 arcane spell failure, but the minus 35% is taken off of both of them. So even though it's a total of 50, if you have them both on, you actually get down to 0. If you want to use a tower shield at the same time, as long as you have a an augment of arcane casting dexterity in the tower shield itself for minus 15, you can actually go full plate and tower shield on a wizard or sorcerer. The hard thing is you just want to get proficiency, because you need proficiency for your armor to give you the defensive bonus. And since sorcerers and wizards don't get any armor proficiencies, medium is really easy to get since they get it from the tree, but heavy you have to basically multi-class for, or take 3 feats, which is out of the question. So I've never done Ascension Chamber, so there's that.
Performing some kind of ritual.
Vex says it stays until you defeat him. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's at least you can defeat him though. Haunted Halls Evening Star would be a fun one to do. Did I pick this up without paying attention? I did. From further inside the crypt. Tourney armor is light armor, so it doesn't actually give you the benefits of heavy armor. It gives you higher armor class, but heavy armor gives you 2 times your base attack bonus as physical resistance rating, whereas light armor only gives you 1 times your base attack bonus. So if you have a base attack bonus of 25, which is the cap, light armor gives you 25 physical resistance rating, whereas heavy armor gives you 50, so you're missing 25 base attack bonus. What's good with Artificer 5 or 6 as a repeater build? Rogue, Mechanic, Cupid Sniper? It's been pretty classic where a lot of people would do a kind of combination of those, do like a 6-6-8 build, which was pretty common. So a lot of people used to like doing that. But as Luminal said, 12 Artificer is really nice because you do get expanded clip. However, if you just want some amount of Artificer, then yeah, 6-6-8 is pretty classic. So 6-6-8 is either 6 Arty and then 6 Rogue or 6 Ranger, and then plus 8 of whatever class you're trying to get that you don't want to play. So let's say you don't want to play like Monk or Druid. You can just kind of take those levels last. But yeah.
In the middle of this chamber.
So thank you for making me stand up. I didn't want to, but I am now standing up.
A Sahuagin rumbles. When the altar collapses, a third crest appears.
I'm standing.
It glows with cold magic.
Oh yeah, proficiency with tower shields is easy. But the thing is, Arcarian, unless you're actually attacking with melee, this is the weird thing. You need proficiency with armor to get the defensive bonuses from armor. You do not need proficiency with shields to get the defensive bonus from shields. So if you're not proficient with a tower shield, you can just wear a tower shield anyway, and it will still give you the physical and magical resistance rating. There's no requirement for proficiency. The main issue if you're playing a caster is a lot of the defensive stats from shields actually comes from the feat, the shield mastery feats, and you don't have access to the shield mastery feats unless you have shield proficiency, which means you have to take shield proficiency and then do other stuff, which is one of the reasons why you usually multi-class anyway. So for example, if you're okay with playing like a wizard, but you do like one fighter in your wizard to get access to all of the armor feats, you can definitely do a wizard that has heavy armor and tower shield and has high defense. Feels like more than that. Did you replace it?
Your waiting bears fruit. This must be the collaborator stepping in from the dark.
Like skills don't update dynamically. So if let's say you have you put like 2 points into something and then you put it on your action bar and then you put the third point in here, it doesn't dynamically update. You have to replace it with a new higher level version. Yeah, that's something that does get people. It's something that the reason why that happens in DDO is because you actually still have access to all of the lower level abilities. However, you just can't see them. So your enhancement tree just doesn't show you the lower level ones. It only shows you the highest level one that you have. And so I assume that's because they don't have a way to dynamically replace the buttons that are actually on your action bar. They don't have a way to do that. So yeah. I don't know. You'd always pull out the old egg timer, time it out, see how it goes. See if anything's wrong. 15 cleric, 5 barbarian. There is a build that does use a similar split, which is the Sylvanas build. So you do that with getting the Sylvanas religion, which then allows you to get extra stats. Can't you turn on CD timers for the bar? I believe so, yes. So you can actually see it, like the numbers, as you can see with mine, where I can count my things down. But what if the timer's wrong, man? I'm not sure if I need whirlwind attack, but I am going to take it because it seems good. Cleaves, man. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Vontra. I hope that I can continue to make good content and interesting things, cool, fun builds, or descriptive things that you will find helpful and useful in the future. Everything is possible at Flying Rhino Junior High. I mean, in DDO, you just have to be able to put the pieces together. But you can definitely make a Dampier Archer Necromancer. I mean, it depends on what you want to do as in terms of what is necromancy. If you mean summons, that's the only thing that isn't really possible because summons are bad. But if you want to just be like undead, yeah, absolutely. And have like necromancy spells for healing yourself, absolutely. What's up, King? How you doing? Hey, what's up? Not just fun. How's it going, everybody?
Out in the wilds of
Korthos Island. Oh my god! Rogue. That's crazy. Thank you so much for giving out 10 subs. Okay, first of all, that is very, very generous. So thank you so much for the support. I really, really appreciate it, and I hope you're doing extremely well. So thank you, thank you. I can't thank you enough. That's really, really kind. Welcome to the stream team, Sil Maestro, Deathier, Zeblin, Krieg NN, Old School, Lacanta NZ, Logan Black, DJ Wukalar, Torelius, and Fabri Savitar. So thank you very much. That's extremely, extremely kind. And yeah, I hope you're just having a good day. Holy moly, that's a lot of subs. That's a lot of subs. You guys ever watch Kung Pao Enter the Fist? Oh yeah, it's a good movie. Remember when I said I wasn't going to Reaper mode right away? I lied. I'm gonna try it out. You're welcome to join the beginner guides. Nice, I'm glad to hear that. There's a new one coming out tomorrow, which I'm excited to share. The information with you right now. The video, I can't share the video with you right now because the video's coming out tomorrow, but yeah. But again, thank you so much for the support. That's really, really kind. Can anybody guess what the new one's about? If you guess, you win a prize. It's the patented Shrimp Tom no prize, where you get nothing. Hey, yowza. Okay, missing. It's fine.
Oh, I'm a rogue.
Man. Reapers, who, huh? Oh my god! And then Sirius Silverlin also gifted out 10 subs. Guys, I didn't even do anything yet. I didn't even do anything. All I'm doing is sitting here playing a video game and chatting quickly because I drank a lot of coffee. Well, thank you so much for the support. That is unbelievably kind. Sirius, wow. Oh my god. Again, yeah, I don't know. That's super generous. So, Sirius, thank you so much for the gifted subs. That is extremely kind of you. I hope your day is also going very, very well. Welcome to Shrimp Team Pectoy, Rink TF, Googly Spin, Lemcom, Browsing Monkey, Zbarb W, Doug Glendower, MXI MMO, Morris Bryce, and so again, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Both you guys, serious and not just fun. I hope you're both enjoying yourself and having an absolutely excellent Saturday. As my day is also going pretty good. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super, super kind. Also, well with the Melee Arty build. Yes, the Melee Arty build is, in fact, going well. I'm just not playing it today because I don't feel like it. But I am editing the video. And I can get you the link to the thing lockdown. Let me find it. There is a forum link. I will find it for you. Give me a minute. Builds and all the time, especially when I need guidance on builds. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Vontra, I'm glad I can help you. On top of that, this is just a thing. If you ever have questions about something, feel free to leave a comment on a video and I will do my best to get back to you because I do try to read and get back to everybody on every comment. Here is a link to the thing lockdown. And on top of that, one of the nice things about the live stream is I'm instantly accessible. So if you're like, hey, Strim, I saw this thing that you did, but I ain't not know what this mean or that mean. Can you explain? I'm right here. So it's easy to ask a question. And also, King Super Smex, thank you so much for this sub. Appreciate it. I hope you're doing well as well. I'm grabbing a hireling just because I might get attacked by a Reaper. And so I don't want to have to deal with this problem. So I'm just going to grab a hireling just in case. Once I have the ability to hit Reapers, I'm not going to care, but I don't have that ability yet. But again, thank you so much, all of you, for your support and your kindness. It's very, very generous of you. So I hope you're all doing well. Wall pipe? Yeah. I am gonna bring the pipe back in a mean way. Just you wait. Just you wait.
This place
I have a vampire monk. What's your thoughts on that? Vontra, that is extremely funny. So earlier today, I had mentioned how many people have asked me my thoughts on making like a vampire monk in the past, both by using Pale Master to get access to vampire form or by the current way where you can just use Dampier to get access to like a vampire monk. I've had many people ask me about this and my opinions on this, which I've always found interesting because from where I stand, there really is no direct synergy between Dampier and Monk in general, mostly because Monk gets a lot of positive healing and free positive healing amplification, spell power, so the negative stats don't really synergize. And then defensively, sure, you get like a bunch of resistances and immunities, but if you play as a monk, you basically turn into a celestial anyway, and if you're a monk, that means that you are effectively like resistant to everything. So it's not like, oh, I need to get, you know, play as a undead to get resistance to poisons. Well, as a monk, you just get perfect body or diamond body or whatever. You're immune to poisons and diseases. So conceptually, I don't really think there's any direct synergy, but it's cool. And I am currently playing as a Dampier monk because it's cool. So that is my answer to this question. It is definitely cool, and there's no downside. It's just that there's no obvious synergy that jumps out at me. This is my last Dampier life. This is the last one, and then we will be going into the Dampier Dark Bargainer as a pure warlock, going all in on the blasting, which means we're going to have as few SLAs as possible to maximize the blasting. You're using Warforged? I'm using Warforged for the melee arty. Did they change cannons crafting and vulnerability? And level 10, level 1 vulnerability armor in the bank? It shouldn't change the item to level 10, no. Are you crafting on a level 10 version of the armor? Like, what's the armor base that you're using? Yeah, exactly. There's like the Spirit Craft Mail, or the Mountain Plate, or the Battle Plate. Battle Plate's minimum level 4, Mountain Plate is 10, I think. Yeah, absolute minimum is because you're using a higher level base. So you got to get a lower level base. So go buy like armor that's level 1 on the auction house and then craft on that. So this is something that is not explained anywhere. And I actually don't even know where I would explain it. But basically, as you level up, the randomly generated gear that you get, there's like higher tier bases, sort of like a Path of Exile or Diablo sort of sense, where you can start getting Battle Plate once you get to level 4. And Battle Plate is full plate, except instead of having a base armor class of +9, I think, or +8, instead it gives a armor class of, I believe it's +10 or 11. So it's actually more base armor, even though it's the same type. So they do that. What server? I play on, I almost said Argonescent. Thrain is my server. Is it worth VIP if I have premium? So VIP gives you access to all the quest packs, but if you use the coupon code GATHERYOURPARTY2025, you actually don't have to worry about it, and you have access to all the quests currently. However, there are still a few things that I like about VIP, and I currently am a VIP personally. Number one, being VIP gives you a 10% XP bonus at all times, on top of what you normally get, so that's pretty cool. Also, access to several different trees and races. So, for example, Dampier is free to VIPs, so if you don't own Chilla Ravenloft, but you want to play a Dampier, if you're a VIP, you can, which is kind of sick. Obviously, you know, you may not want to play a Dampier, so maybe that's less of a selling point for you, but you know, it's a thing. Can you die, please? Thank you. Did you have lifetime VIP? No, there's no lifetime VIP for DDO. That was the thing that was offered for Lord of the Rings Online, but was never offered for DDO. And I don't know if that was a good decision for Lord of the Rings Online. It was good in the sense that there's always a constant minimum player base that they hit, because there's people that have a lifetime VIP that just don't quit the game because of like the sunk cost. And so it kind of makes sure that there's always like an active community, which is kind of a good thing. But there is a sizable amount of people that play Lord of the Rings that do not pay a VIP sub. Myself included. I have a lifetime Delotro. For those of you that don't know, when Lord of the Rings Online was like in the beta, you had an option to spend $200 US in 2007 to get a lifetime account. I think it was 300 maybe. Or was it 200? Yeah, it was 200. So 2007, $200. So, you know, basically like 300 and something in today's money. And as a result, you would never have to pay for a sub ever again. So you have to like gamble on a new MMORPG and hope that it's good enough and it's going to last. Now, obviously, it's almost 20 years old at this point, so we now know, but yeah. Yeah, it's 200 at the start and 300 later, and then they got rid of it. Anyway, so as I said, you get the 10% bonus XP all the time. You also get faster movement speed in town, which is not really like a major selling point, but you do run 10% faster like in town, which is kind of funny. So you might notice like people running faster than you, even if they're in your party. It's because they're VIP, which is good. Not in quest though. In quest, everyone runs at the same speed. Other things that you get for VIP, there's like the shared account storage that you get generically. I gotta summon the hireling again. I gotta put him on the action bar. So the shared account storage, the generic shared account storage options are pretty nice. So you do get some stuff that are pretty good, I would say. But yeah, because the coupon is out, it's much harder to justify being VIP. And this is the problem that actually a lot of people have, is that the VIP program, in my opinion, is still worth it. Even from like, because I play so much, the 500 DDO points, the 10% XP, and the fact that like when a new quest pack comes out, I don't have to buy it. I just already get to play it right away. I like all of those things. So for me, it's like an easy sell as like, oh yeah, I like this. I'm gonna keep consuming this. But I will say this, I think this is absolutely relevant. The value of VIP has gone down over time because they've given away so many of the quests that used to be just in VIP. And so a lot of people in VIP complained about this. And on top of that, SSG also has been releasing more often mini expansions as opposed to quest packs. So things that are $20 and they are not a part of VIP. So with that, the value of VIP has gone down. This also happened in Lord of the Rings Online. In Lord of the Rings Online, the solution to the problem is they give out the VIP Town Services. The VIP Town Services is basically an item in your inventory that gives you access to every town vendor. So you can access the bank, you can access a vendor, so you can sell stuff, you can access all your different shared storages and everything from your inventory. It kicks ass. It's honestly one of the best VIP bonuses I've ever experienced. It is so convenient. It is amazing. You're in the middle of a raid and you're like, oh man, I forgot I left I'm out of potions. I can go into my bank where I have extra potions, pull them out of the bank, no problem. Love that. And it's not usable in combat, so it doesn't affect like any of the raid progress. It's just the convenience of not having to be like, okay guys, give me a sec, leave the raid, go to town, get the potions, come back, do whatever. So it's just a really good feature. Big fan of that. Oh, I thought I could dodge the last one. So that was sick. However, in DDO, their solution was they decided to do the VIP rewards, the VIP loyalty program, where you get stuff the longer you're subscribed for. And this system straight up sucks ass. I don't like anything about it. Some people have more positive opinions. I think this is just bad. Almost everything on here is pointless and feels bad, or is like so bad you can't even... It's like indescribably unimportant. There are some things that are good. Account storage slots, bonus DDO points are obviously good. The cosmetics are cool, the lightning storm trail and the storm cloud mount. So stuff like that is cool, but a lot of the stuff is just like, yeah, who cares? I already leveled up and I already finished this. So if this Reaper kills me, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I dodged 2 spells. That's good. Ooh. Pin the lag is a breaking point? What do you mean, like the DDO lag? If you haven't played in a while, Matt Cannibal, the DDO lag is like so much better. Like there was a patch a few weeks ago that basically turned the lag off for the most part. Like, it's indescribable how much better it is. It actually kind of feels like magic. There are still some issues that they're sorting out, but like 99% of the time, 99% of playtime, there's no lag whatsoever. Has Epic Trip been fixed? Yes, Epic Trip has been fixed and can work in all content. That was summertime? Yep, exactly. So this summer was extremely laggy and the game was basically non-functional and has been non-functional for like the better part of the end of the year since the transfers. However, as of about 3 weeks ago, there was a major lag patch that came through and the game has never felt smoother than it feels right now, ever in the history of the past 20 years of playing this game. As somebody who's been playing the game for the past 20 years, this is the smoothest DDO has ever felt in terms of performance ever. Ever. I am not trying to like fluff it up and be like, yeah, it's amazing and there's no problems. You will still get like a minor hitch here and there, but like no more locking up whenever you do a raid where like every raid is unplayable, things like that. But yes, it is extremely good. Okay, I can't take whirlwind attack, so we're taking darkness, which is good. Now we get another feat. I guess here I take precision because I have no other feats to take. Yeah, we take precision. Precision. I could take power attack. Power attack's good, but whatever, we'll take this. Yeah, like I said, there are still some like very minor stutters that happen every once in a while. So like, for example, you know, my average has been like, I get a 1 second hitch every 2 hours. It is night and day, how different it is than from what it used to be. But yeah, don't take my word for it. Just log in and give it a shot. VIP crafting speed and low would make it worth it to me. Oh, dude, 100%. Absolutely. Trying his hand cannon only took 27 tries. But did you get it, Rap Fan? Did you get it? Did you get the hand cannon? I'm going to run this one on Elite. Nice. But But yes, I totally agree with you. The reason, so you might also be wondering, okay, Stream Tom, if the lag is that much better, where's the YouTube video? Where's the video, man? If the lag is so good, why don't you tell everybody about it? I jumped the gun previously before when talking about lag. 2 years ago, there was a patch that came through to DDO. No, it was last year. And it made the game feel like magic for like a day. And then it went back to being classic DDO, barely functional chugging as it used to be, you guys are used to experiencing. So I didn't want to kind of jump the gun again. So if the performance is still good by the end of November, I will be making the holy moly lag is gone video, but I'm not doing it before, you know, before there's been like a really good amount of time to really robustly test the performance in the game, because I don't want, again, I don't want to bamboozle anybody. Jumping upstairs is quite weird. It reminds me of like playing Super Mario World, where there's like vines or there's like gates that you can climb on, and or like in a lot of side scrollers where because you can jump off of them, you can like jump upwards to gain more height instead of climbing upwards. Open up cross-server transfers? Yes, they are going to be opening up cross-server transfers. We do not have a date for it yet, but they will be opening up cross-server transfers, and what they said is that the initial wave of cross-server transfers will be free, so you don't have to pay anything to be able to transfer your characters across for like a few weeks, and then we'll be going into the regular, you know, costs X amount of dollars to do all your transfers. Why am I fighting these guys? I have fast recall. Yeah, so all the people who are like, man, I wanted to play with Stream Tom, but I didn't transfer to Thrain, will have the option to do that. Okay, so my wisdom is 34. It's pretty good. Do I need the trance plus 6 hit and damage? Not really. I kind of want to go falconry here and get my attacks. I'm going to do that so I can get the helpless. Is fast recall a new thing? Nah, it's a monk thing. It's been around forever. So basically what you do is, here, I'll show you right now because I'm at the beginning of a quest. Okay, I hit recall, and then I want to activate a monk stance, and then click yes. So I keybind it, right? So I have to have this key bound because I can't click this and then click this. I guess you could, but that'd be too hard. And I activate the ability and then click yes. So stance yes. And then because I'm entering the stance, it cuts the like recalling bar and lets you teleport out. It is a known bug. The developers know about it, but they leave it in as a cool feature. So if you are somebody who's like, oh, are they going to nerf it or get rid of it or take it away? Basically, until there's some horrible bug that people can abuse that ruins it for everybody, they're going to leave it in. If I have a character on Candace, can I transfer now? You can transfer now. Just make sure you do, there's like a transfer packing system that you have to follow. So just look for that and do that. I don't have a vid, but I do have ! quest list, which is the command you type in chat to get the quest list. And if the robot doesn't respond, I really got to fix that. Problem is I keep forgetting to do that. Like the second I turn the stream off, my brain turns to mush and I forget to do the thing. Come on, robot. Come on.
A soft sound.
Okay, fine. I'll do it. I guess I'm the robot today. Ugh. One sec. I'm just gonna kill this Reaper because it's gonna murder me if I don't. Okay. Alright, here we go. Yeah, well, it's not AI. It's just the bot that's supposed to respond to different commands. And for some reason, it just, like, stops working. And I don't know why. But I need to fix it. But I just don't want to fix it on stream. So I need to fix it off stream. The problem is, when I turn off the live stream, my brain immediately starts playing Path of Exile. So it's difficult for me to fix the problem. Like, not difficult because it is actually challenging. It's more of a, yeah. Sand Asylum, Lord of Stone, and Lord of Eyes. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Okay, I will say this. I do love some of these quests. Did you run Palace of Stone? I love Palace of Stone.
You notice a dim signal crystal above a lever on the far wall.
That's not a bad idea. I love that quest. Palace of Stone is amazing.
Metal grinds on metal, and ripples spread across the water.
Running a laggy raid, but there's no lag at all. Yeah, honestly, that would be a pretty good place to put like lag information about that. Like I said, the only thing that makes me kind of nervous is that ever since Wednesday's patch, there has been like a slight increase in some very minor hitching that has happened. And so I don't know what is causing that, but something is causing that.
You leave the festering sewer water, only to be assailed by a pungent...
But outside of that, it's like so much better. It's crazy. But it's also something in the most recent patch, so I don't know if there's like something that is causing things to slide backwards or like, I don't know.
You see a pack that has been unceremoniously discarded beside a brazier.
Hand wraps need the same buff as two-handed weapons? What do you mean? Nope, fast recall. Bad, Stream Tom. Bad. Use your brain. I just like the story. I love the fact that you get to go through all the different galleries, and one of my favorite is the Museum of Stone. I love the Museum of Stone. It is extremely funny how you get to like walk through this gallery, and as you're being like, as everything's being explained to you, of like, look at this beautiful stone. When there was nothing, there was stone. It's just funny. I love it. All right, diving, attack, strike. Let's go. I'm a falconer, man.
These bones were a little cleaner. The air reeks of rotten.
Get diving attacked. Caw-caw! Hell yeah. I love falconry. It's so powerful in the early levels and late levels, honestly. DC 25. Caw-caw! I need assassinate DCs, so I'll have to make sure I take these. But not taking wisdom hit and damage is actually going to save me a ton of points in falconry.
Perhaps in anticipation.
Do combos and hand wraps? Not actually. So hand wraps are a little buggy. Hand wraps actually have a weird quirk that they don't have offhand attacks. So as a result, when you make an offhand attack, you get only half of your main stat bonus applied. So let's say you have plus 10 to like your strength. You only add plus 5 with an offhand, but because there are no offhand attacks with hand wraps, they're both main hand attacks. Like your offhands count as main hand attacks.
Rear section of the sewer has
When
been
you use
opened.
your hand wraps, instead of the offhand getting plus 5, it would get the full plus 10. On top of that, there's a stat called offhand double strike, which can cap at 50%, which is basically half of your double strike gets applied to your offhand weapon. So if you have 100 double strike, your offhand double strikes 50% of the time. But again, hand wraps are main hand weapons. So therefore, your offhand, when using a hand wrap, has 100% double strike, making hand wraps the best
The bulging chest
dual wielding type weapon in the game.
belonged to one of the Kobold brothers you heard so many secrets about. The first
Hey, I was a...
chief
Nope.
brothers
Sorry.
of the slain.
Did you gotta hit me? I got tumbled, buddy. See you later. So hand wraps are extremely good. It's actually the reason why, one of the many reasons as to why the hand wraps Razor Claw shifter is super, super powerful and one of the best builds in DDO. Because hand wraps are nutty. They're cuckoo bananas.
You have set
The one downside to hand wraps
infamous butcher
is that obviously you get fewer stats on them, but because you don't get 2 weapons, you only have 1. But because hand wraps are so goddamn powerful, it's not really necessary. Using a staff in a while? Well, you've seen me. Woo! I like that the owl comes down with the woo! Well, the main issue is that two-handed weapons thing, they wanted to be like AoE, which is why they gave two-handed weapons strike through. And then SSG proceeded to make the best single target attack in Quick Cutter also the best AoE attack. So then all of the dual wielding builds don't have to make any sacrifices to have full AoE like destruction. So now you've run into the problem of either do you limit the amount of stuff you can do with a two-handed weapon, or sorry, with dual wielding, so you get rid of the AoE attacks, or do you find a way for two-handed weapons to do more single target? So like we talked about it the other day, the idea of like maybe limiting it so there's like a stance you can toggle on, and while the stance is active, your character can't strike through anymore, but you get a bonus to single target damage or something like that.
Countless kobolds scratch and scurry somewhere very close.
Also, you might be wondering, oh, stream, are you playing Monk? No. Monk? No, not today. It looks like Monk. It sounds like Monk, but I promise you, this ain't Monk. We're going all the way, baby. Dark Apostate, let's go! All Dark Apostate, all the time. Warforged completion, so I might give Monk a go. Honestly, Warforged Monk is very cool because their larger frame makes a lot of... I personally love the way the animations look for hand wraps on Warforged. I think they look really good. Clean. Yeah, because I'm an undead. I'm a vampire, so it's like, why don't I just go even more undead? Because I don't really need more than 3 levels of Monk because I get everything I want. I get the Ice Freeze, I get the Trance, I get the Wisdom to hit and damage. And I get the attack speed, so why not? And then 14 Cleric is pretty good. Gives me all the healing. I'm also a Falconer as well. Dodge. I can't believe there's people that are like, yo, Tumble is actually not good. It makes me completely immune to Reapers while leveling. It's so good. Make it if an attack hits only one target, do more damage. Feel like I've seen that effect in many games in League of Legends. Yeah. Yeah, League of Legends does stuff like that. Well, it's just distributed damage, right? So you just have an attack that, let's say it deals like 100 damage, but then if you hit 2 targets, each target takes 50. So that way you can like distribute the damage out. Whoop. Convalescent Chainmail. Yeah, we're gonna do War Domain Monk. Dark Apostate War Domain Monk.
To show you his collection. He leads you below the tower, then motions you closer to speed.
Yeah, I want to get the go for the Eye Strike, which will be good. We're gonna pick up the extra Assassinate TCs, the Action Boost Sprint, so I can move around real fast. The quality hit point bonus is sick, so that's not bad. The AoE blind is really nice, so I want to grab this. And I don't need Deadly Instincts, which means I can actually just take a lot of like the really powerful stuff out of the tree without like taking a lot of sacrifices. Oddly enough, I don't know if I want Thrill of the Hunt because it doesn't heal me for negative, only positive, but that's okay. It means I can put 3 points in Death from Above Strike as well as Dangerous and Swift. Death from Above Strike actually does a good amount of damage, and it'll give me an instant kill, which will be cool because you don't normally get an insta kill until Quivering Palm, and Quivering Palm DC is lower than Death from Above. So it is neat. Is there Assassinate DCs in Ninja Spy?
The room, quick. Obtain the librarian's voice.
I don't think so.
I know your true intentions.
I know your true intentions, thief. Get him, Birdo. I love that I can just knock these guys down. Hell yeah, diving attack. But I'll end up putting more points in these abilities later. Just for now, it's a 1-pointer. For now. Like I said, there's some like things they could do to make two-handed fighting feel a little bit better. I do think that the slight nerf coming to Quick Cutter will start to help that feel a little bit better. Just because now Strike Through will become a little bit more relevant. Because you only have an 8-second uptime on Quick Cutter as opposed to 6 seconds. That being said, there's like an extremely high chance that your first hit on Quick Cutter is going to kill everything anyway, so maybe it doesn't really matter. What are you going to do? T5 and the 18 core. Shadow Double is so bad. Why does it give 50 Double Strike? I hate that. The problem with 50 Double Strike is Double Strike has a cap. It's the same problem that there was an ability that you used to get in Divine Crusader. It was the big ability, and it was the reason why Divine Crusader was not good for melees. Was because even back in the day, you could still get 100 Double Strike on a melee. And so when you already have 100 Double Strike, there would be an ability that is like, yo, you get 50 stacks of a buff, and each stack gives you 1 double strike, 1 damage, 1 whatever, which all sounds good until you realize, oh, I actually can't use the double strike. It's useless for my character. No, Blitz was the way better ability. As long as you're in combat a lot, Blitz wasn't too bad. The Blitz started to feel bad when casters got some love. Because once you got casters everywhere that are blowing everything up before you can do damage, like Blitz has started to only become good on bosses. Then once we got Reaper mode, Blitz started to come back in fashion because you're attacking consistently. The problem would be is if you died or if you needed too long to prep before the next room. Because nowadays people play R10 like they play Elite difficulty, they just run through. When Reaper mode first came out, you would need a lot more patience. And so sometimes your Blitz stacks would fall off. Good old Master's Blitz.
You have found what you came for. It is time to leave.
You can get over 100% double strike. Oh yeah, that'd be kind of cool. People have wanted the ability to get over 100% double strike for a while, just because, you know, why not if you can do it with double shot? Is impossible to solo on a first life? It's not. Just play specific classes.
A skittering sound beneath the floor sets
oh, I'm
your
undead.
nerves
I
on
don't need
edge.
Death Ward. That's funny. Blightcaster solos Reaper mode pretty comfortably. And once you start going, Spellslinger Bard also does Reaper mode pretty comfortably. But Blightcaster is like my #1 pick of solo Reaper on a first life character. Now, for the record, I don't think you should be soloing Reaper on a first life character because Reaper mode is designed #1 for advanced players. Like it was a thing that was designed with the expressed intention of giving players who have already done everything in the game something else to do. So not really good for first lives, and just on that concept. And then also it's something that's designed to be done in a group from the outset, which is why there's the healing penalty. So you're not supposed to do that anyway. That being said, you absolutely can do that. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if my Artificer could start doing Reaper mode. I just, for the purposes of people following the solo guided playthrough, I don't really want to do it, so that way people don't feel like they're encouraged or incentivized to do it. I just have to convince myself not to go into quests on Reaper mode, which is the hardest part. The hardest part about Reaper, not opening the quest, or doing quests on Elite, not opening quests on Reaper. But yeah, I have a starter Blightcaster. Hey, what's up, buddy? That starter Blightcaster that can do Reaper very, very comfortably as a first life build. So if you are interested in that, check out Beginner Basics for Blightcaster. The reason why Blightcaster is so good is because they get a lot of really powerful spell-like abilities that give them an extremely low cost to everything that they do, which is nice. But on top of that, they also get temporary hit points, which completely circumvents the need for healing. Every time you get a kill, you get to add your wisdom score to your temporary hit points. That stacks up to 3 times. So at 3 stacks, let's say I have a 22 wisdom, that gives me 66 temporary hit points after I kill 3 creatures. And then, as long as I don't lose my hit points, my temporary HP, every time I get a kill, I will go back up to full temp HP, which is nice because even on Reaper, you're not going to be hit for more than like 60 damage from any monster in the early game. And then as you get more and more wisdom, that number gets even higher. Yeah, it just gets easier to deal with. Additionally, now with tumbling as well, as an extra step of defense, obviously not everybody is going to get into tumbling to protect themselves. I highly recommend you do. You'll notice every time I see a Reaper, I tumble whenever I see them start charging up an attack, because when I see their hand get raised before their hand comes down, you tumble. When the hand comes down, you take 0. On the first life Death Knight. Yeah, Eldritch Knight is also quite good for soloing on Reaper mode, because you get access to Ghost Touch very, very early, so you can just choose whatever weapon you want. One thing that is weird, though, is Pale Master. The Pale Master forms take extra damage from light, but since Dark Apostate, as well as Dampier, both Dark Apostate and Dampier do not actually take double damage from light, which is very bizarre. It's just a bug that's been in the game for a while. Why? Mm. But it has been in the game.
From below and to the west.
Hey.
It sounds like something heavy. You hear the grind and clatter of machinery from
Oh, so if you're wondering why I bought 5,000 haste potions, this is why. I just drink them. Haste potions are so nice. I've already started my haste potion journey on the Artificer, but fortunately, the Artificer has a helmet that gives +5 to haggle, which gives me some extra money.
As if a massive barrier is moving aside.
You could do Dampier Dark Apostate. As a solo Reaper build, I would not recommend that, but you definitely can do a Dampier Dark Apostate if you want. I think it's just a bug. I think, if anything, it's the fact that Dark Apostate, undead form, doesn't take the extra damage as a bug, and then as a result, the Dampier was probably just like copied code from Dark Apostate since it was the newest form, and that's also why it doesn't have the problem.
Onto your back. Quickly return to the Fairlane representative.
Feywild for an on an iconic for some gear. Oh yeah, but you should have gear. No, not monk, not monk. Cleric. Oh, right here. Hello. Hello. Dark Apostate, please. Wisdom, please. Concentration. UMD. Tumble. I was going to take heal, but I guess I'm not doing that. I need more intelligence to be able to fit heal into this build. And my deity is Orion, the quarterstaff deity, which gives me +1 to hit. How cool is that? And now I have cleric spells. Ooh. So now I have access to Night Shield. And Divine Favor? Oh, Bless. Yeah, Bless. More hit and damage. Alright, hello, buddy. I actually don't need to turn this in, but whatever. Okay, so now I can apply my Reaper points. So now I have 1,000,000, so we're going to do that. Dex. I don't know why I have spell DCs, but I just took spell DCs. I'm not going to take the spell pen because it's unimportant. Physical resistance rating. Probably fortitude saves. I actually don't think I need any saves because I'm playing as a monk and I have Ocean Stance turned on. So I probably don't need any saves. Yeah, I don't need any saves. My saves are sick. No Nimbus of Light? No Nimbus of Light, that's right. Not today. The problem with Nimbus of Light is that Nimbus of Light does a d6 of damage, which is not good for my current level of power. So I don't want it. Do I have any gear for level 4 that I can throw on? I have the Diabolus Ring. Oh, Circlet of Shar, which gives Wisdom, Insightful Wisdom, and then I have a Solar Gem of Wisdom. Sick. That's so much better than my +3 Wisdom health. It's +6. Power creep. I already have Insightful Wisdom, so I don't even need to care about the Diabolus Ring. And that is the wrong number of stats. Checking in here. Oh, I got nothing. Sweet. Well, I'll take the Wisdom. 39 Wisdom goes up to 40 at level 4? God. 13-year-old me would have been rolling around in its grave looking at these numbers. To be fair, you know, this character is quite old and has reincarnated 100 quadrillion times. Check to see if Chieftain Spear? No, my quarterstaff is very good.
The strong smell of
I don't need no Chieftain.
permeates the air
Although I do need to
around.
repair my quarterstaff,
You
so I'm gonna have to do
hear
that
human
in between
voices up ahead.
adventures. So this build, I wasn't sure what to play. Chat suggested, somebody said Dark Apostate, somebody else said Falconer, and somebody else said you should play Monk, like Necromonk. And I was like, oh my god, what if I do a Monk Dark Apostate Falconer? So yeah. Where do you look up all the Foulborn uniques? PoeDB has all of them. If you want, I can get you the link to the list. There you go. There's 346. Whee! I also don't technically have any healing, which is really funny. Like, I don't have... all I have is the vampire bite. Hopefully the vampire bite is good enough. Whack. Get knocked down. Get birded. There's shaman.
You hear a loud chorus.
My healing is damage and crowd control. At some point, I will have very minor amounts of healing in the fact that I will be a dark apostate. I don't get an aura, though, or anything, which is kind of annoying, but what are you going to do? I guess it's one of those situations where we say it is what it is. Also, I don't need healing because I have 57 armor class and 16 dodge, so if anything hits me anyway, it's a miracle. Past lives are really, really goofy. So getting extremely high armor class is kind of a cheat code. Oh, I don't have true seeing. It's annoying. Like, you notice everything is just missing me. Basically, the enemies need to roll a 20 to be able to hit me with any of their attacks, and so that means I dodged 95% of them. And dodging 95% of all attacks is really nice. This feels crazy, you guys. It feels so crazy playing a racial completionist. Oh, this is the reason why I actually prefer most of the time like playing first life characters or like just like dinky random builds, because there's just something like insane about this experience that I'm having right now, where I'm like, oh yeah, I just have so much armor class, monsters literally cannot even interact with me in any meaningful way. Which, by the way, when I do the warlock build, it's not going to be any easier for the monsters, mostly because that's an iconic, so I can start at level 15. I'll have to start planning it out, but the hardest part's going to be the item build, I think. Because I basically have to use the necklace that comes out of Chilla Ravenloft, so out of Lamortia. There is the bracers that you can get from Threats Old and New, but I think that item sucks. So I'd rather have the craftable effects. Oh, congratulations to the Beer Pounders for landing guild level 160. Yay. I should have a clapping soundboard effect. I don't have one.
You hear an arrogant and loud yelling voice behind the
I used to have one, but I don't anymore. How do you deal with ghost touch issue for Reapers in melee or melee characters? There's an item you can get called the Book of Spirits, and this item comes from the quest Housekeeping from the final quest. It's a trinket that is just ethereal, and it lets you hit Reapers at level 3, or you can go to Keep on the Borderlands and get an ethereal ingot from any of the quests. The ethereal ingot will let you turn that into any weapon you want. So let's say I'm playing a quarterstaff build. I can turn an ethereal ingot into an ethereal quarterstaff that is level 1 and lets me hit Reapers as well. So both are good options in the level for hitting Reapers. And then depending on your class, you might have better options. Paladins get Ghost Touch for free. Eldritch Knights get Ghost Touch for free. So it just depends on the type of character you're playing. Keep tumbling and dodging. The ethereal ring from Salt Marsh is level 3 as well. Yep, true. You farm the Pact and Eldritch Dogs? No, I'm gonna farm that later. What ways can you increase the cash level with Alchemist vials? Well, Alchemists get it on their own directly. Are you talking about regular cash level or maximum cash level? Because base cash level, just read the Bombardier tree. And then if you want max cash level, there's one feat that Alchemist gets. And then technically there's the which is the advanced studies, which gives you +1 max. And then there is the Master of Spell Vials, which is not a good feat, but you could technically take it to raise the max cash level. Just regular? Oh, just read all of the cores of the tree or the tier 5 of the tree. Like the cores of Alchemist give you +3 to whatever element you want, and you get all of them. Imbues hit ghosts? No, that is incorrect. You are wrong about that. I told you this yesterday, Rachel. Imbues do not give you Ghost Touch. The Eldritch Knight Imbue gives you Ghost Touch because that's what the Eldritch Knight Imbue does. But The Arcane Archer imbue does not let you hit ghost touch creatures unless it's the Force imbue, which does, but the regular one does not. The Monk imbue that I get here does not let me do that. Even the Paladin imbue does not. It's just an effect in the tree. Imbues do not give you ghost touch. That is not how that works. Oh my god, the blurriness. It's so blurry. No, because if you don't hit the target because they're incorporeal, it means you don't hit at all. You need to hit the target to be able to deal any amount of damage. If you miss a target due to incorporeality, that's like saying, like, I shoot an arrow at you and I miss, so the arrow goes past your head. But doesn't it do a little damage? No, it does not. The arrow doesn't make contact, therefore you don't do any damage.
This appears to be Clan Gnashtooth's main prison.
You need to hit an enemy with a attack to be able to damage them with an effect of an attack. That's why sometimes imbues will go through on grazing hits. Grazing hits are when you get close to an enemy's armor class, but you don't quite match it. And then that is sometimes where you can deal a portion of your damage. But if a monster is incorporeal and you attack and you don't hit it, you don't get anything. You don't get the effect of your weapons. You don't get any secondary effects. Let's say you ready up a stun and the stun gets incorporeal. It does nothing. If it's incorporeal or blurry or miss, all of that, you do nothing. It's so funny how I did this quest yesterday on Elite difficulty, and I found that the damage... Is that Arlos? That's a prisoner. I almost died in this room, and here I'm like not really paying attention. There's Arlos. But no, you have to hit the target. That's one of the reasons why like getting incorporeality, so like the ability, or like ghost touch in some capacity, and true seeing is really important on pretty much every single melee character or attacking character. If an enemy is blurry, you don't do anything, and most of the time it's pretty easy to fit into a gear set. But for example, my paladin that I'm running, my Vanguard paladin, I can't fit true seeing into my item set, and so I actually have to carry around scrolls of true seeing and cast it like an idiot. So I have to go whoosh, and now I get true seeing. Let's go. So yeah. Skill issue. Yep. It's me, Mr. Skill Issue. Gotcha. I'm always worried that like Arlos is going to run forward and somehow just like eat a lightning bolt and instant die whenever I run back through here. But fortunately, that was not the case. Oh, what am I doing? Oh no, I did the wrong thing. Ah, shit. I hit the wrong button. I forgot that it was already off. Here we go. I am bad at the monk fast recall. This way. We're picking up Arlos. Yeah, I kind of just like take a chance at it. I always try to take a chance at it first. But sometimes you just get to go through. Repair, staff. All right, we're good. Assassinate DCs are good. Then I get the blind. The blindness. Fall in the water and drown. Oh no. That poor man, he never learned how to swim. Well, poor boy, I guess. Nah, he's immune to the spikes, fortunately. I think they intentionally made it so that he doesn't take damage from the spikes, probably because there was like a developer during the playtest who like had Arlos die to the spikes and was like, this is some bullshit, and turned that off. I feel like that's one of the reasons why sometimes there are just like weird, unexpected changes in quests or just like in parts of video games where like something changes to be made like easier or more convenient, because I bet you that's like some developer actually logs in and plays the game and then does that thing and goes like, no, this is stupid, I'm changing this right now, and then they just go in and change it and don't tell anybody. Yeah, Dolorous Acid is a legendary weapon effect on a heroic weapon. It is completely cheating. Oh, dude, 100%. There was some of you guys might not know this, but in Von 4, right at the end, there's like you wait for the bridge to come down and then you walk across. If you fall there, you can't get back up. Well, I can tell you for a fact that there was a change made so that there's now, after that section happens, there's a ladder that spawns in that was described to me as the ladder of shame, which is if you fall, you can now climb the ladder to get back up so you don't automatically lose the quest. And that might have gotten added to the game because maybe one of the developers was playing like a hardcore season and maybe they fell there right at the end and had to redo the whole quest and went, this is some bullshit, and changed it. Maybe. That might have happened. Which, again, I find very funny.
Dropping straight down this shaft would be deadly. You see pipes.
Sometimes, you know what? It is shameful to fall down there. But you know what? That's some bullshit. I don't want to redo that. More devs to play the game more? Von 4. At the end of Von 4. Hey, what's up, Darudy? How you doing? So I will say this. This might sound stupid to some of you, but I do understand why developers of video games don't play their video game more recreationally. And I understand that because as a content creator, like now I actually still play DDO for fun, but after like going full time in 2020 with live streaming for the first like 2 years, I had fun playing DDO when I turned off the camera. But then like starting in like late 2022, early 2023, I couldn't play DDO for fun anymore. I just couldn't do it. I would like turn off the stream and I'm like, I can't play this game right now. So I understand why there are developers who like don't actively like play their game for just entertainment outside of developing it. That being said, like everybody should know how to play it. So like it should be mandatory to do like play sessions and stuff for people when they're like working on projects or like making stuff fun. So for example, you know, the developers should be able to like all log in and, you know, run the raid together or run whatever content together so that they can like search for bugs and make things better. But I mean, just outside, I understand why that doesn't happen. The devs actually played it? Probably, yeah. Yeah, a lot of hirelings have good spawn, which is nice. Remember, jumped on that bridge? Yeah, the stalactite's still there. But now, if you fall down, there's a bridge or a ladder you can climb back up. A ladder, you need a lever to be down? Nope. Nope. As long as you get to the end and the bridge goes down, if you fall, you can climb up the ladder. You should play quests where we get quests made upside down. That is correct. Yep. Yeah, if nobody's heard that story, I heard this from one of the devs when there's like a bit of a meet and greet, so I got to meet some of the developers and, you know, talk shop, and they told me a story about how many years ago they had like a new designer who was like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and really excited about making stuff for DDO, but had never played the game, but was like, you know, a wizard quest designer and had all these ideas about what they wanted to do. And so they started working on a project. And basically, they ended up designing this complicated sewer system that the idea is that you were like starting at the top of this gigantic sewer system that keeps going down and down and down. And the whole point is like this careful descent through the game where you're supposed to descend through various platforms and pull puzzles to lower bridges so you can slowly descend down this area because of how dangerous it is if you were to fall all the way down. And they were basically like working in silo on this massive project where they were like, I'm going to do this and do this and do this. And then when it came to like the weekly checkup to be like, hey, how's the project going? They were like, look at this dungeon I made. It goes straight down and look at all this other stuff. And it's amazing. You do this. And then one of the developers is like, you know, there's Featherfall, right? Anyway, that dungeon got changed. And now the dungeon goes from bottom to the top and it's called Spies in the House. Spies in the House was originally conceived as a dungeon where you started at the top of the sewer system and had to very carefully move your way down so you didn't fall to your death. Because the developer was new to the project and was unaware that featherfalling was a mechanic in DDO, that it was easily accessible to everybody. Which is an extremely funny story. I actually really like Spies in the House, and I think it's a great quest. Every week they have their community team stream playing the game. You see how much they love doing it. Digital Extremes is Warframe. Warframe, gotcha. Yeah, it's the same thing with like Path of Exile, where like the Path of Exile developers oftentimes do place on the ladder. They have a lot. There's a lot of like Path of Exile psychos that work at grinding gear games. Which is why when they have like boss race competitions and stuff, like the new Uber Incarnation of Dread race that started yesterday, they have to ban developers from being able to win prizes. They can compete, but they can't win any prizes because many people can compete against the general player base. Yeah, so that to me that story is great because it's like a you know, it's a reminder that like the thing is you could make the argument and be like, oh yeah, isn't that stupid? Like they should have known that, and how could they not have known this information? How could they have gotten that far? But number one, they got stopped, right? That's the whole point of having people like work together. You have like a group, you know, people group up, you have your meeting and go, okay, what are you working on? What are you working on? And then you can kind of point out these holes in the first place. And number two, especially in a game like DDO, where you want to make your quests as creative as possible, sometimes it is good to have people who completely think outside the box, because that's good. I'll give you an example, actually, where that's relevant to right now, where one of the best quests in the game, oh, what is the name of that quest? I can't remember it because offhand. It's the Extreme Challenge Dungeon quest with the Silver Flame. Oh, what is that quest called? I'm gonna look it up. The quest is Pilgrim's Peril. So Pilgrim's Peril is one of my favorite quests in the game. It's fun. It's challenging. It is one of the few quests that's actually difficult on higher difficulties. So it is challenging like the entire way through. Because there's parts that can stump you because of the way the mechanics work, where in Pilgrim's Peril, you have to be paying attention to like what monsters are spawning where, what the specific buffs are. The different champions can be really dangerous, especially on higher difficulties. It's a fun one, and it's really interestingly designed. If you've never done it, I don't want to spoil it, but it's really, really cool. It's one of the few dungeons that just have mechanics that you have to interact with, and I love it. Also, what's up, Deathy TV Raiders? Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope your stream was good, Deathy. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you're doing good. Thank you. Yeah, Pilgrim's Peril is a great quest. Fun fact about Pilgrim's Peril that you may not know. Pilgrim's Peril was designed by Convallaria, who is one of the DDO quest designers. And Convallaria is somebody who is not like a Giga R10 gamer. Convallaria is somebody who is more of a like... you know, smell the flowers, read the story, take in the environments sort of gamer. However, they also are a big fan of puzzle games. And so they came at the quest to make Pilgrim's Peril not from the perspective of like, oh, I'm going to make something that's going to be really hard to challenge the players. They were like, I'm going to make a quest that performs or feels like an actual puzzle game. And then we got that quest. And so that's why, like, you know, you could make the argument, you'd be like, oh man, we need devs that are like working on, and they play like R10s all the time, and they have all the experience with the hardest contents. They really know how to make it really hard and put the screws on them. But that quest is great. I don't really know anybody that does like a lot of endgame that doesn't like that quest. And yeah, it's again, it was put together by somebody who was like, I want to make a puzzle, and they did. Okay. I didn't find Ven twice, so I'm going to go very slowly and do this again. I don't know where he is. I have no clue. Also, thank you for the raid, Deathy. I hope you're doing very, very, very good. Hope your stream was nice. I'm assuming you're probably taking off to get some dinner, enjoy the rest of your weekend, but hopefully you have a good rest of your weekend. I don't normally stream on the Saturday because usually I would do stuff with my girlfriend because she is usually off on the weekends, but she's working nights, and so she's currently asleep right now. I passed over him? Where? I feel like I'm going insane. This is usually not a problem for me, but for some reason I'm like blind. Didn't they do Times Long Past? I don't know who did Times Long Past. Convalaria also did the musical notes quest. What you call it? Can't remember the name of the music quest. Slowly. Use your brain, Stream Tom. Use your eyes. Ogma's song. Thank you. There's too many of these. Also, Gothborn, thank you so much for getting out some subs. Thank you. That's really, really kind. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing very, very well. I hope your day is going excellently and you're having a fantastic weekend. Yeah, thank you so much. That's really, really generous of you. Out of nowhere. So again, I appreciate it. Welcome to the stream team. Lareef, Ninari of Caneth, M32P, Art of Pa, and Truknar. And again, thank you so much, Gothborn. I hope your day is going good. I hope your weekend is going good. Thank you, thank you, thank you again for the support. I really appreciate it. If you're wondering what I'm doing, by the way, other than not finding Ven and getting confused, because I am lost and stuck in this endless cave, I am currently playing a build that is a Monk Dark Apostate combination because there he is. He's right here. He was in the dark. I'm doing a Monk Dark Apostate combination because I didn't know what to reincarnate into, but then I had chat give me some ideas, and they said, yo, you should play a Dark Apostate. And some people were like, yo, you should play a Falconer. And some people were like, yo, what about Monk? Monk sounds kind of cool. And I was like, you know what? What about Monk Dark Apostate Falconer? So that's what we're doing. Fart Apostate. Oh, you got me, dude. Oh, you got me. God damn. This guy gets me with the Fart Apostate. Wow, holy moly. That moly is holy. Go for the eyes, baby. Okay, what are we doing here? What are we doing? What quest are we doing? The quest that I'm doing, what is it? I'm just gonna do Shantagore. Cruises are Snark Apostate? Holy moly. I haven't drank in water all day? You should. Dude, if you don't drink any water today, you're gonna get in so much trouble. Yep, exactly. Go for the eyes, boo. I'm not a big fan of, what do you call it? The video game. Actually, no, I love Baldur's Gate. I was never a big fan of Minsk. I actually just didn't really like Minsk generally. I found him irritating a lot of the time. I understand why people loved Minsk. Especially because in a game like Baldur's Gate 1, there's basically no interaction with your party members whatsoever. You kind of just add people to your party based on like their portrait and the kind of voice lines that they say while you have them. Because if you're used to playing modern games, like a modern RPG, there's like a big intricate storyline with each of your companions. But Baldur's Gate 1 was really early, so they didn't have intricate storylines with every single companion. Instead, you just had like the text. So your character would go like, you know, go for the eyes, boo. Or he would say like, we're gonna make a world that's amazing for people and hamsters everywhere and all that. Which again, totally fine. And that was like your just general interaction. Now, granted, when Baldur's Gate 2 came around, oh baby, now we got the quest lines, we got companion quests, we got all this dialogue and interaction. Baldur's Gate 2 is like one of the biggest glow-ups in terms of just general questing I've ever had the chance to experience because of how much better Baldur's Gate 2 is over top of Baldur's Gate 1 in terms of just all of the developments they made in making the game. Unbelievable upgrade. Fantastic. Big fan. Still didn't like Mints though. Didn't love him. And you know what? I will take the L that maybe you guys are big Minsk fans, and that's fine. And I'll never become your favorite because Minsk wasn't my favorite. But that's okay. My Baldur's Gate 1 team or Baldur's Gate 2 team that I took to the end of the game, I had Jaheira, I had what's her name? Viconia. I had Saravok. Dude, I loved having Saravok. One of my favorite parts is you get Saravok in the Throne of Baal, and he really hates you. He hates everything about you and every decision. But he is the only companion where if your alignment deviates, he can't leave your party. He just bitches about it the entire time. He just gets so upset. He's like, this is not what I would do. This is disgusting. You're a disgrace to the whole Baal legacy. Awesome. I love it. Because if you spend enough time with him, even though he disagrees with you, you actually get some good, interesting conversation dialogues where you kind of start to understand, not like his perspective, but you can see some of his views are starting to crack a little bit because at the end of the day, there's an irreconcilable fact that he has to grapple with, which is that he believed himself to be the perfect, vessel for Baal, and the greatest of all the Baal spawn. But not only was he bested by you, he ended up being bested by Peter Pipega, who was not evil in basically any way. And so that's kind of like basically hangs over his head all the time. He can't even be like, I'm better than you, because like, no, buddy, you weren't better and you didn't get the power. Which is just fantastic. You have to understand, Peter was also like the character that I played, Peter. Peter was in fact a very, very good character. Now you might be like, but Strimtom, Peter killed so many people. And what you have to understand is Peter didn't kill anybody. Peter acted in self-defense. Peter was a master of self-defense. And as a result of his self-defense training and self-defense tactics, he was able to defend himself against everybody. Gave swords and ale to children? I mean, what could go wrong if I give children swords and ale? That is something that I did do. There's a quest where there's some kids that are literally like outside of a liquor store, and they're like, hey, mister, can you, we're not old enough. It's like, they won't let us buy swords and beer, but can you buy it for us? And I was like, okay, kids, here you go. Hell yeah, I bought them the swords and beer. Anyway, you go back to the town later, and they're like, what the hell were you thinking? Why did you give our kids swords and ale? They haven't been seen in days. And I'm like, I don't know. Hey, man, it ain't my problem. They're your damn kids. It's not my kids. I was helping those kids and enabling them to live their life dream. Go play beer swords? Exactly. Look, I was helping. That's all it is. If you have not had the chance to play Baldur's Gate 1 or 2, I can highly, highly recommend it. The only downside to Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 is that, actually there's two downsides, one of which is it is no joke on the harder difficulties, even on normal, because if you don't understand the game system, you're gonna get cooked left and right. You get cooked left and right. If you don't understand how FACO works, or how so many of the different systems inside the game function, or what saves mean, or the fact that like if you're a wizard and you get more intelligence, your spells aren't more powerful, because that's not how that works. Yeah, if you don't understand how the ancients decided to make D&D function back in the 90s, it's going to be tough. But it's so fun. And there's so many branching paths and different things you can do and so many outcomes. It's actually insane how much is in Baldur's Gate 2, given how old that game is.
Completed.
So I can absolutely recommend it to everyone. Yeah, the ancients. Those that came before. I still remember I got a chance to talk to Steelstar, one of the DDO developers, and I asked him a question about something like, how come so-and-so took like, is designed like this? And he just looked at me and he like, we were drinking and he had his beer and he just goes, look, man, sometimes the ancients made bad decisions. Game DDO started development in like 1999. So, sometimes the people in 1999 didn't future-proof the game to 2020 something.
Wayfinder Dale's simple
Yeah, you really get used to the autosave function in Baldur's Gate 1 because of how often you need it. Because if you don't autosave constantly, you just die over and over and over and over. Because even on easy modes, you can still get instantly killed if you just roll poorly, because you only have like 8 hit points. So like the wolf just bites you, it hits, you die. It's like, okay, cool. Time to start over. A DDO came out about 16 months before Lord of the Rings Online. And they both have similar yet different problems. So for example, one of the problems in Lord of the Rings Online is there's a major loading problem in the game. And one of those loading problems is because the characters are heavy. Why are the characters heavy? Because all of the quest data and all of the deed data that your character has, this thing, your quest log and your deed log in Lord of the Rings, every character stores all of that data every time, and everywhere they go, anytime they go anywhere, they have to store all that data. And here's the thing. When there was like 7 zones for their quests and deeds, it was okay. But every expansion is 350 quests and like 70 deeds or more. It just kind of piles on. So a problem that wasn't a problem then is a problem now. So that's one of the things that they're currently tackling and trying to figure out how to solve. But they've been working on that problem for years. They actually had like a revamp of the deed log that they were working on. But I think, I don't know if they scrapped that project or stopped working on it. Everybody hated it. So my complaint with the deed log and why I hated it was, one, it was just inefficient use of space and it looked bad and it was just worse than the old deed log. So I don't know why we needed the new one, but also it didn't contain any of the lore or art from the original deed log. And that was one of the coolest parts about the original deed log in Lord of the Rings is the deed book was full of art for all the different zones, which was just cool. So it's like basically somebody painted something and now the paintings are gone. So why give me the paintings back? But then also there was lore in the game for each of the individual areas. So if you explore, like there'll be like a deed in Lotro that's like find all the keeps in a zone. And as you explore the keeps in the deed log, even if you don't know anything about it, because you didn't read, you know, the extended Tolkien encyclopedia about some random set of keeps in some hill somewhere, the developers did. And so you can learn about what that keep is and why it's there and who manned the keep and why it's abandoned or whatever, or what people know. Try not eating so much. I mean, MMO characters basically don't eat ever, you know? A month before they made it free to play. Yeah, but the sub is still good because it means you, as long as you play, you get access to the VIP town services. And as a lifetime sub person as well, the VIP town services kick ass. I wish we got that in DDO. Oh my god. Because I am a hardcore raider in Lord of the Rings. So me and my raiding guild, Forged in Flames, we do all of the raids on the difficulties and it's a lot of fun. And my god, is it nice to never have to repair when doing raids. None of this like gold sink, gotta repair every night. Oh, guy, anyone got an anvil, so we gotta stop and repair right in the middle of the raid. Or somebody will be like, oh, hey man, does anybody have, it's like, oh, I'm out of Hope and Scrolls. And I can be like, oh, no problem. Open up my shared bank where I have like pages and pages of them. And here's some tokens, here's some scrolls, go crazy. Every expansion but the last one? No, it does not. However, they basically give you all of that content if you use the code. Actually, I think the code is over. I think it expired, but there was a code that you could use that gave you access to basically everything. The difference is Lord of the Rings made all of the content up to Helm's Deep just free all the time. So if you play Lord of the Rings now, you can just go and play through Moria for free. Moria's free now. Moria's free. Mirkwood is free. Isengard is free. Or Dunland. East and West Rohan are free.
The echo of
But you just gotta pay for Gondor.
rock betrays a flooded
I'm sorry, Gondor is expensive, you know. They like look at all the stone and all the structures that they've got going on. Minas Tirith doesn't pay for itself, you know what I'm saying? True, you can rebuild Heightbolt for free. Peak gameplay.
You hear the sound of heavy footsteps rushing toward you.
For those of you that don't know what that is, it is arguably the worst piece of content they ever forced people to do in an expansion. I don't know if it was actually exactly the worst, but it's probably, it's there. Where was your wallet? I will say, something that is very cool with Lotro is because it's after, they're like very much after the War for the Ring, like the war's over. The most recent part, or part of the expansion, well, not most recent. Actually, it's not even most recent at all, but I really liked the Umbar expansion because you get to go back to Gondor, and not only do you get to see like repaired Minas Tirith, which is really cool, like so all the repairs they had to make like after the battle and go explore the city again. But on top of that, you've also got you get to go through Western Gondor first, and not only do you get to see repaired Minas Tirith and how all of that is going well, you also get to see all of the people in Western Gondor basically being like, "Great, you repaired Minas Tirith. All my friends are dead. You know, my husband died, my son died. Get out of my face. Oh, there's a new king? Guess what? I don't care." It's great. Really, really good storytelling. It's a lot of really interesting stuff. And kind of put some of that stuff into perspective of like, oh yeah, everybody did die in front of Minas Tirith, didn't they? You know, the Battle of Pelennor Fields? Come on, you guys. Chop chop, wake up. Time to get your Lord of the Rings knowledge test. The expansion 99 cents. And if I ever played, I'll have a shit ton of stuff. Hell yeah. Didn't make a character or log in. Yeah, but you can do that later. What's up, Kevin Head? How you doing? For the unemployed, Bungie lost their copyright lawsuit because they vaulted the Red War. They lost the copyright lawsuit? Oh my lord. That is big news for the unemployed.
The river canal below is blocked by a lock.
Yeah, if they settled, there's no judgment. So I agree with Bobby. That is actually a very, very different thing. Read the Silmarillion twice. I have the Silmarillion behind me, and I got like halfway through it before I gave up. Yep. I just enjoy the storytelling through the video game more because I get to fight people while I'm also learning the story. Like, I take the time to like really slowly read all the dialogue of every single quest. I read all the dialogue in the deed book and everything. So I do learn about everything that's actually happening in the story and how it's relevant. But man, reading books. I wish I was better at reading books. Through self-inflicted pain. Again, for me, my issue is just like, I've never been a big book reader, and so, you know, sitting here reading big chunky novels has never just been my passion. But I want to. I want to read more. I didn't pick up The Thing. Oh, I'm so dumb. If you have to settle a slam dunk case, then it's a loss in all but name. Again, not necessarily. It's really expensive to take something to court, and the reason why you might settle is because you think there could be a chance of losing and you'd rather just pay for it and move on. Because if they end up settling and they're like, the settlement is basically they get to keep the rights, but they got to pay a guy X amount of money, then that's the best for them because the problem just goes away. It would be expensive. Lawsuits are expensive. Depending on exactly where the lawsuit is filed, so I don't know where the litigation is, but depending on where the lawsuit is filed, they will still have to front the cost of all of the lawyers in litigation, especially because if they don't decide to settle, they're not settling like, and then, okay, cool, it goes to court tomorrow, and then we're out by Friday. Like, it goes into a, like, again, a continued multi-year litigation, and it gets really expensive. So if they can just settle it, like, almost all cases are going to get settled out of court, regardless of who's at fault. Because it's really, really expensive to not settle. Any pages tell me about freaking Leaf. Yeah. It's, for me, mostly, like I said, I just wish I could get back into reading. Because reading is something that I have done sparingly in the past when I found the right book. But I have too many games I want to play in my list, and I just enjoy the experience of the more interactive medium more often. And it's not that I don't read. If anything, I spend way more time reading news and science. I do enjoy reading the really dry, boring, like, scientific papers and stuff that come out about many different things. The most recent one was about microwave radiation with the James Webb Space Telescope. Good stuff. I'm American? I am not American. Also, I don't think that's a fair thing to say. I think, you know, if you think about a lot of, like, popular authors, a lot of popular authors are, in fact, American. And also, a lot of people in the United States do read. It's very common. Don't worry, as a non-American, I do also, being like, haha, American cannot read, haha, McDonald's, Burger King. But, like, also, people do be reading. People be reading all sorts of stuff out here. It's like going to Baskin Robbins and getting vanilla and there's so many options. I wouldn't necessarily say that. It's more so that, like, I just don't really, this is going to sound really stupid. I really don't love the, like, high fantasy where most of the story is the nobility and the intrigue. So, like, you know, for me, Game of Thrones is just really not that interesting to me. Where it's like all the petty squabbles between, like, major houses. I just don't care. Nothing's really happening. It's just a bunch of people making their own lives worse because they don't want to work together because they're nobles and that's how they were trained. Ugh.
The note reads, Seal is hidden deep in halls of Chantaucourt. Soon we
but yeah, I am Canadian.
bargain with Bergthram.
I do have all the books, so I do at some point think it would be good to, like, actually read the Game of Thrones, because I have all of them on the shelf behind me. I have a bookshelf full of mostly read books, and then a few ones that I have not read. I also have Kalari's book that I haven't read yet, that I want to read. Axiom, so I'll read that eventually. Need to say sorry more? I do apologize. Pretty regularly. Like, so usually what'll happen, is somebody will usually correct me about something, or I will say something, and I'll be like, oh, sorry, I was mistaken about this thing. Yeah, I apologize, like, all the time on stream. I don't know why you would say that. I mean, I guess, you know, you're newer to the stream, so maybe you don't see it as much, but yeah. I do all the time. Warcraft 3 will be fixed. True! Yeah, they'll fix Warcraft 3, you guys. Warcraft 3 reloaded, reimagined, rebuilt from the ground up. Calling you American is bad? No, it's fine. To be fair, like, unless somebody tells you I don't think I sound distinctly Canadian. There are some Canadianisms that sometimes shine through for different people in different regions. Although I will say, a lot of the accents that people ascribe to Canadians also gets ascribed to like just general Midwesterners as well. Like, I'm going to be honest, a rural Canadian and somebody from rural Nebraska sound very similar. Speaking of things that sound very similar, Gothhorn gifted out 5 more subs. That's extremely kind. Thank you so much for the gifted subs. That's extremely, extremely generous of you. I hope you've been enjoying the stream. By the way, I'm not offended for being called American. There's really no way for you to know unless I specifically say it. But thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Welcome to the stream team, eHawker, JJMC89, Zenisage, the one and only, and Fifir. And thank you. That's very kind. Don't worry. I am not actually personally offended in any capacity. Again, that just happens. I gotta make my Canadian heritage known better so that people don't make that mistake more often and be like, oh yeah, hey, did you guys watch the hockey game? Oh, those hosers out on the ice don't know nothing about skating or something. I don't know. Get burnt to death, suckers. I love using this trap to kill these hobgoblins. It's so fun. Tumble 1, tumble 2, tumble 3. My job is funny that I can't tell until they say sorry. Yeah, like I said, I do apologize relatively regularly, but I think that's more about courtesy more than anything else. If I make a mistake, if I'm wrong, if I do something I think that I shouldn't have done, my immediate reaction is to apologize for that thing. Oh, I'm sorry I did that thing. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry I gave you information that wasn't entirely correct, that I could have done more research to learn about. Just say Zed in a boot. I don't know what you're talking about. The unfortunate part is that in South Park, the Canadians have like the flapping heads, which makes it really easy to tell, but we don't have that in real life, which would be so convenient. Because then if you travel somewhere, somebody would immediately know you're Canadian. They're like, oh yeah, you're Canadian with the head. Yeah. Hydrate maple syrupate? True. Ancients pronounce it sorry, and Canadians say sorry. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I did this thing. Whenever I think of the word sorry, I think of the board game. Sorry, as I take your space. Should have known. Nah, don't worry about it. I do intentionally speak with, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it, as like, obviously I have a North American accent, so you can easily tell that I am from North America, but I try to make my speaking patterns as generic as possible, so that way there's like as few words that I say that get misunderstood. I don't like being misunderstood, so I much prefer if I can just say something, or like I can say things and people can understand me, so I try to like fully enunciate and speak clearly. So I don't have like any regional accent, I don't think. Or if I do, it's like really muted compared to like other people that I know, or even other places that are nearby me. I pride myself on speaking generically. Canadians have strong opinions on Canadian geese. True, fuck them. Get them out of here. Goddamn ass, dumbass Canadian geese. All right, War Domain. Let's go. Dark Apostate, Monk, Dampier. Oh. All Canadians need flapping heads. It would be helpful, yeah. If you want a flapping head VTuber model? Now that's interesting. They are loud and they do poop literally everywhere. It's a huge problem. One of my favorite places I like to go to play Pokemon Go is a park that is huge. It's full of Pokestops, but the geese just live there in droves. So fortunately, the park staff that like manages the whole place does a really good job of like cleaning off the surfaces. But my god, is there a lot of poop everywhere. The geese, they're like fire hoses. All right, what are we putting on here? Let's grab some gear. Lionheart ring is fine. Crown of Fireflies, I don't care. Dustbone ring is fine. Means I can replace my trinket. Crown of Leaves, I don't need that. Cloak of Summer gives me double strike, sure. Belt of the Blue Abishai gives me defense. So does Belt of the Ram, which gives me damage. Let's take Belt of the Ram. Thorn Boots gives me more wisdom. 1 more point of wisdom, so we'll do that. I actually never used my Gyara's Boots of Dashing. Very funny. Dead Ringers gives me mana, I guess. Oh, geez, that's not a good choice. Garb of the Spring Winds is good. Dead Ringers gives me mana, which I don't need, but why not have more mana? Need more mana. And I think I already have... Oh, I don't have Vitality, so I'm going to put on these bracers, which gives me Ethereal again. So now I'm the most Ethereal. Ring of the Red Abishai. No. I know there's another Abishai item. I think it's a necklace. It's a pendant. That gives like extra ki per hit. I don't need it. I don't use any ki abilities, but if I did. Head version of the monk. Yeah, maybe. Command. Are you going to craft some heroic Lamordia gear? No, I don't really care. Some people do the Lamordia stuff. I am still collecting the gear. At some point, I'm going to try to make like the ultimate Lamordia set. So the goal behind the ultimate Lamordia set will be to have one set I can wear on every character, no matter what, to have every stat I could ever want. That's the goal with the one Lamordia set. So that's something I'm going to try to do in the future. Everyone should get a bird. Oh, this one? No, this is because downstairs there's a parrot. My girlfriend loves her parrot very much. It is a monk parakeet. So it's one of them little green parrots. She loves it with all of her heart. And that parrot is a mean son of a bitch. And I don't like it that much because it is not very friendly. But she loves the parrot, so we keep the parrot. And that's that. That's how that goes. Okay, let's take this. And then the thing is, the parrot will semi-regularly, again, be a mean son of a bitch, and like bite or attack just out of nowhere. Like, and it bites. When it bites, it breaks through the skin. Like, it goes for blood instantly when it's upset. Yeah, and it's also really loud. You know how, like, you're like, parrots, yeah, cool. They, like, say words, right? Yeah, you can kind of teach it words, but it is not a songbird. It almost exclusively just screeches all day, every day. I had to soundproof the door where I went to Home Depot and I bought, like, some lines of weather stripping, and I wrapped the weather stripping around the door to make a perfect seal so no air could go in or out to make sure that the bird sounds don't come through. If I just open the door, all you're going to hear is bird screeching. From literally the second it wakes up till it goes to bed, it is just screeching the entire time at like top of lungs. Awesome animal. Anyway, so again, my girlfriend loves this bird. So it's her very special son, and she doesn't want anything bad to be said about it. Fair. But she made me this shirt because there were a few occasions where the bird just kind of like got a little bit out of hand. And then she would just go, everybody should got a bird. And then I started saying that. So then she made me the shirt. So now when I'll hear like the bird will do something or like be a little crazy and need to be put back in his cage because he's not being very nice. And I'll just be like, look, everybody should get a bird. It's funny. You hear this anti-bird propaganda? No, it's okay. Yeah, he does mimic laughing. He does.
The crow's nest is
Oh yeah, I would never ask her to like get rid of the bird or anything like that. Is this a clonk build? It is a clonk build in the sense that I am a monk and I am a dark apostate, but the goal is going to be actually falconry. So it's kind of a clonk build, but it's mostly just a falconer.
An ancient three-barrel legend.
So the answer is yes? Question mark?
The cacophony of wailing.
The cacophony of wailing
becomes clearer as
Bats.
you enter the cave.
Will this tune go to epics? Nope. The second I hit 20, reincarnation. Because I want to turn this character into a iconic. This is my last Dampier life. And then after I hit it, we've got... boom.
An opening in the ground reveals another
Racial lives. Done. 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 And I get back to racial completionist. And then this character will be, I'm going to be examining Warlock, a thorough examination to see what damage I can feasibly do. If I have everything, what is the ceiling for Warlock? So we're going to be getting it, maxing it fully maxed, and then stress testing it. R10s, raids, all that nonsense. Because there's been a lot of new technology since the last time I did this. The major changes to Warlock since that time is number one, the packed dice used to do a D4 damage per die. Now it's a D6, which is an extra 1 average damage per dice. And the base damage used to do a D6, and it is now a D8. So those two changes are relatively substantial, giving an extra 1 damage for each die. So that's pretty good. On top of that, there is now an item that gives the stat Power Impact. Power Impact shows up on 2 items in the entire game, a pair of bracers that comes from the raid Threats Old and New, as well as a necklace that comes from Lamortia. I'm probably going to wear the necklace because the bracers are really bad. So we're probably going to wear the necklace, but the goal will then be to get the necklace with Power Impact, as well as the new augments. There's solar and lunar augments, both that add packed dice and base damage. So by getting all of those, it's an extra 6 base packed, or 6 packed and 6 base damage. So for a total of 9 packed and 6 base damage over what you could get before. Really substantial increase in damage over what Warlocks had. Is it going to make a difference? We're going to find out. Roll back the R7 damage nerf. So we've had this conversation before. And I know people don't like it when I say this. I don't want them to roll back the damage nerf in R7 Plus until they address the problem that all of the highest damage spells for the best spellcasters are all AoE. So if you play an alchemist or a druid or a sorcerer at least gets some single target damage in the form of like Thunderstroke or Iceberg. But like Ice Flowers, Tsunami, Multivial, these things are all AoE, and was it Elemental Combination? They're just all AoE spells, and there's no real downside to using any of them. And they also do the most damage. So they need to find a way to balance it so that these characters still feel powerful and still have their damage without it all being AoE. Because if they leave it as all AoE and they move the damage values back up and let spellcasters do 50% more damage, we're going to get back to the same place we were before spellcasters got nerfed, which was every group is just going to be a 2 of the 3 druid, sorcerer, and alchemist, and everybody else is superfluous and doesn't need to be there. Because you're going to get to a room and you're going to see the multi-vials come out, everything explodes and dies, and we move on to the next room.
Two-toed Tobias's first mate has been returned to the depths.
So they do need to address that issue, which I think is impactful or important. But there's a secondary issue, which is the fact that all the other spellcasters that are lagging behind are lagging behind for a very specific reason, which is that their spells are bad.
A slight breeze.
Like, the reason why clerics and favorite souls aren't good at endgame as spellcasters, they're good for other reasons, right? Clerics can make excellent tanks. You can make some good melee cleric and favorite soul builds, excellent healers, but general spellcasters, the reason why they're not good is not because the trees are bad. Okay, Divine Disciple and Angel of Vengeance aren't amazing, but there's some really good stuff that they get in those trees. The main issue is that their spells are bad. You get like 2 good spells, which is Divine Wrath, which is a 20-second cooldown, and Celestial Bombardment, which is also a 20-second cooldown. And even those spells don't do as much damage as the spells from the other classes, And the other classes don't have a 20-second cooldown on their spells. So that's a big problem. And then outside of that, they got nothing. You want to cast like a good damage light spell? There aren't any. Sorry. Get out of here. So yeah, so there's like nothing they can do. Artificers only get 2 good spells. Tactical Detonation is extremely useful, but it's not a good damage spell. And Chain Lightning is good, but they kind of need something better than Chain Lightning to kind of keep them relevant in the endgame, or at least more spells that they can use for their other elements. Imagine if there was like not just Chain Lightning, but maybe there was a Force version of Chain Lightning. So like Force Blast or a Fire spell. Or maybe there could be a damage spell that scales off of repair spell power. I don't know, but they could need some stuff. One of the few classes that actually kind of breaks through is Bard. The reason why Bard is kind of good still is because the support you get from a Spellslinger in your party is so high, it doesn't really matter that their spells do reduce damage, especially because any Bard worth their salt is going to have Fate Singer, which means you still get to cut the strings, and it also means you still get the healing shouting and the stuns on Greater Shout. And the fact that Greater Shout stuns as your main source of damage is not amazing for soloing on a Spellslinger Bard, but in a group, they kind of do some wacky stuff. So Spellslinger Bard kind of slightly hits outside the circle there, but they need to solve these problems as a part of a caster balance. So again, if SSG just decides to rip the Bandit off and make it so spellcasters go do full damage again, and by full damage I mean go from 10% damage in R10 to 15% damage, so they get that 5% damage back, I think that will make some spellcasters happy. But I will be ready with the I told you so when people stop having fun and go, spellcasters aren't fun and I can't play the game because spellcasters are killing everything, and oh, spellcasters don't feel fun anymore. Or not don't feel fun, but like the game doesn't feel fun because spellcasters bad. The other issue as well is it doesn't solve one of the bigger issues, in my opinion, that spellcasters have, because by the way, you can still play spellcasters in R10s, they're just not as good as they used to be. Especially considering Dragon Breath, the damage on Dragon Breath got cut in by like 60% or 70%. That's another big one. The Draconic Incarnation Dragon Breath dying. It died for our sins. So goodbye, Dragon Breath. Sorry. But the other thing that also is a bigger deal in my opinion, and I think is much more impactful and something that SSG should look at sooner, is casters' longevity in raids. Because spellcasters are basically useless in modern raids. Even trash mobs have like hundreds of thousands of hit points now in all of the raids. Threats Old and New, Den of Vipers, the most recent raid, everything has hundreds of thousands of hit points, and like you just don't have the mana for it. And this is an issue that they need to solve. The solution that I have recommended that is not, that I think would work well, for helping spellcasters work well in raids and also not be oppressive in the rest of content. Here is my suggestion. Okay? It's gonna make some people mad. Take all the AoE spells in the entire game and reduce the damage to D6 plus half spell level per level. So instead of the AoE spells like Fireball, instead of being a D6 plus 3, it's a D6 plus half the level, and you can round it up if you want. So it would be like a D6 plus 2. And an 8th level spell, instead of being a D6 plus 8, it's a D6 plus 4 for AoE spells. And so you take your AoE spells, you reduce the damage like that, and then again, it means your 9th level spells are doing a D6 plus 5, so they're still doing the highest amount of damage for the AoE spells. But add new spells to every spellcaster in the game of the relevant damage types that are single target spells only, and do a D6 plus 2 times the spell level at a low cost. So now, Delayed Blast Fireball is dealing a D6 plus 4 as opposed to a D6 plus 7, so the damage has gone down. But it means you now have a single target fire spell that does a D6 plus 14, which is almost an endgame spell that you can get way earlier. The end result is you can make these single target spells much more cost effective, so then players can use them and spam them in like raid content so they actually feel like they're doing something. And your AoE spells are not instantly destroying a pack of monsters, which means a spellcaster's AoEs can go AoE, soften up monsters, and then follow up with actual single target to quickly get rid of monsters. It also means that spellcasters don't go, oh my god, a Doom Reaper, and they're cooked. there are two problems with this idea. Number one, I am suggesting the numbers of some things go down. And even though I think it'll be better for game balance, DDO community does not like when a single number in the game goes down. So that would be an uphill battle to convince people it's actually a good idea. It's like, listen, you guys, you need the medicine, but they don't want to take the medicine. They don't want to take the pills. It's like telling your pets to like, to take their medicine. You gotta really like open their mouth and you gotta shove the pills all the way back there because they don't want to take it. But there's a bigger problem, just pen and paper. So in pen and paper Dungeons and Dragons, there basically isn't any high level single target damage spells. And there's a bit of a reason for this. The main reason why there are no single target high level, high damage spells at high levels and why they're all AoE is because that's how cool magic works, right? At low level, you learn like Sunbeam, where like, you know, Scorching Ray, where you point your finger and a little fire blast comes out and it does some damage. At high levels, you learn like Infinite Cosmos Destruction Wave because it's higher level and it's got to be cooler and sound more amazing. And so if you look through pen and paper, every single high level spell is AoE. Because obviously they're all AoE. It's fucking Earthquake. It's Meteor Swarm. You're moving the heavens and the earth with magic. So even if they added a cool single target spell to the game, it would need to be well themed. Like, listen, Iceberg is a good spell in the game. It's good for balance. It's good just generally. It does a ton of damage. But you can't tell me you hear the name Iceberg for a spell and you don't imagine you hit a guy with a chunk of ice. You imagine I summon an iceberg. The iceberg falls, crushing all of my opponents, dealing huge amounts of damage across the entire continent. Because I summoned an iceberg. So that's kind of the issue, is that in pen and paper, there's no justification for high-level single-target damage spells, and the few that do exist, so as examples, Polar Ray is like one of the few high-level single-target damage spells. There's just not a lot of them to draw from, and so they kind of just have to start doing it for game balance reasons, which I would be in favor of that. But yeah, that would be a bit of a hard one to kind of swallow and make work. And then the last problem with my idea, and this is I think the one that I don't know how to reconcile with, if every spellcaster in the game has some AoE and single target spells, you kind of turn every spellcaster into the same thing. Like it or not, clerics and favorite souls feel different than sorcerers. Now, it's because they're bad, and Sorcerer isn't bad, but also just the types of spells you can cast and the flexibility of your spells. And kind of getting rid of some of that for the purposes of balance and to make all these things feel good doesn't feel good from like a world building perspective or from like the sense of, you know, you log in and you play the game and you go, I want to play a cleric, and cleric kind of feels the same as everything else, you know? So that one I don't have a solution for in the short term, but I do have a long-term solution for that problem, actually. So my long-term solution for that problem would be to make it so that every single spell damage type in the game, just pull a Path of Exile and just make it so that every spell damage type has a rider effect. So that way there's like specific things that make things feel good. So for example, imagine if like fire spells burn opponents, so they like either do damage over time or like they maybe apply a debuff, and light spells apply a debuff. Basically, if every different type of spell applies either a debuff to enemies or a buff to casters when you cast them, it'll make different classes feel very different. Anyway. So this is my long form why I think that they shouldn't just get rid of the Reaper spell penalty in R10 that are on spellcasters right now, because I think it actually does serve a purpose for the game. But the issue is that spellcasters, for many, don't feel as exciting or interesting at the end game as a lot of other character classes do, and the only way to solve that problem in the short term is just to lift that penalty, but that doesn't solve the underlying issues that are present with spellcasters, which takes a lot of time to fix. And that's always the issue. It's one of those like things where people think the answer is simple, but the answer is never simple. Getting tells about cheap astral shards and items. Is that some kind of scam? Yes, that is a scam. Report to those people. That is 100% a scam, Kevin Head.
A thick fog rises up.
I want to sever my targets in DDO. You joke about this, but bro, I love sever. I've got this like strand build that I've been playing around on my warlock, and it basically gives me permanent sever uptime, so I can always sever every target. And running ultimate level content has been a total joke because even on the hardest content, all the bosses that you interact with, it's like, oh, they're so dangerous until they're severed for 10 seconds. And you know what happens when their 10-second sever wears off? It goes back on. So yeah. What if the master feats give elemental spells? So another thing I would like to do to make all the casters feel parity, because they're all just random in how they're applied, take max cast level off of every single spell in the game. No max cast level on any spells, because you're already limited based on your caster level, which makes all those weird cast level items we've gotten over the past several years actually do something, while most of them don't. And then I would make a change so that all of the Master of X feats, the feats just give you spell immunity bypass of that damage type. So if you don't have it, you can just grab it. Prove your worth? Oof, rip.
It smells of raw blood meat. You hear the annoying crunching of
Turning everything to Master of Knowledge? Yeah, you can do that too. And you might be like, giving everybody spell immunity bypass? That doesn't sound good. Here's the thing. I agree. I actually don't love it generally. I actually don't like immunity bypass as a concept, but it is a genie that is already out of the bottle. They're not going to take immunity stripping away from Sorcerer and Druid and Alchemist. So let's just have a way for everyone to get access to it. So yeah. That would invalidate the sword capstone. Okay, then don't take it.
Farrier calls out to you.
Because you might be like, yeah, now I can't use the sword capstone, and everybody else is gonna go. But sorcerer capstone gives you a bunch of cast levels, and fire elemental form gives you a bunch of defenses, and spell power. So the elemental form is actually still very good. Also, it saves you a feat. And feats are really important nowadays because of how many good feats there actually are in epics. Paladin 20, do I reincarnate? It's up to you. If you would like to keep leveling, you can keep leveling up your character and get all the way up to the level cap of 34 before you reincarnate. Or if you're like, man, I'm sick of Paladin, then you can go ahead and start farming out tokens of the 12 to get your reincarnation prepped up and ready. Eladrin in shambles? Again, I don't agree. I think that having the ability to choose a feat, remember guys, feats are still tight. Like, there's a lot of really good feats that you can take in the game right now. And so having a class feature that saves on a feat is quite good. True, they just got a buff Hellball. I don't really know how it works. So basically, when you reincarnate, you set your character to level 1 and you gain a bonus based on your past life. So because if you're a paladin and you reset based on paladin, you get 10 extra healing from all sources. So if you drink a potion that heals you for 10, congratulations, it now heals you for 11. If you drink a potion that heals you for 100, congratulations, it heals you for 110. So that's really cool. To do this process, what you do is you go to an area called the Reincarnation Grove that is in the Hall of Heroes, and there's this like ball of light you talk to, and that's where you do your reincarnation. But to be able to do that, it requires a Heart of Wood, which is a material. Hearts of Wood can be acquired in the DDO store. So if I go Heart, you can buy them in the store. So a reincarnation thing is 1,500 points. However, it's also earnable in-game. So you don't have to buy it at all. And I would not recommend you do buy it. I would actually recommend you don't. I'd recommend you just earn it. And you earn it by trading in. There's actually a page on the wiki that's really good at telling you where to go to do this. So DDO wiki reincarnation. There's actually a time where I was going to make a reincarnation document to like help people follow through the path. But this page is really thorough. And it's got a great chart that explains everything. So it gives you the process as to how to reincarnate, what you keep and what you don't. And, you know, how to it, what you need to do, how to get these things, and it tells you how to do all of that. It's a really thorough article. I highly recommend it. Feet stripped, and not all spells stripped now.
Heat and steam.
Feet stripped? Well, no, I'm saying it would be all of them. You bypassing it for free for taking levels of correct class and validated by someone else paying a feet tax to get an optic comparison. Sorks. Yep. Oh, 100%. Now, the other thing too is also like the idea that like, oh no, the sorcerer capstone would like no longer be good is hilarious to me, because it's like, that's right. It's only the bypass that lets sorcerer be better than cleric caster. That's right. Fire domain cleric's going to replace sorcerer because now clerics can bypass fire immunity. It was the only thing holding them back, and not the fact that sorcerer has doubled the cast speed. That being said, I also think that the sorcerer trees, the savant trees, suck. They're very boring. Like, they're just really, really boring. So I don't like any of them at all.
On a ledge, high above the lake of magma, you sense something unholy and foul.
Big reason Sacred Fist sucks so bad is because how much monks were complaining preemptively that Sacred Fist would make monks feel worse. True.
The altar of
It's one of the reasons why I find it very funny when you will read people commenting on the forums, and they will be like, yeah, SSG, they release stuff that's overpowered and then they nerf it. And that's what they do. They get you to buy it first and then they nerf it. And it's like, basically everything that has come out since 2021 has been underpowered and needed buffs. With the archetypes being like an excellent example. To be fair, a lot of the archetypes have been free, but yeah. The archetypes are underpowered. Horizon Walker is underpowered. Blightcaster is like really good for leveling, but it's kind of whatever after that. And Dragon Lord is good. That's the best part. Dragon Lord is not overpowered. It's just good.
A second altar rests at the end of this cavern. Its power makes bile rise.
It is at the appropriate power level. That's the craziest thing. Dragon Lord is the appropriate power level. They're not going to nerf Dragon Lord. Why are they not going to nerf Dragon Lord? Because Dragon Lord is not overpowered. It's literally, it just slid right into the DDO power level. It's where everything wants to be. Do I think that SSG would never nerf Dragon Lord? No, because, you know, sometimes developers can have different design visions for how a game is supposed to feel or look, so maybe there might be something they want to change about it, but there's really no reason to nerf it at all or make any adjustments. Does Dragon Disciple need buffs? No, I think Dragon Disciple is also really good. The thing is, and this is my personal opinion, I don't think every single thing needs to be like very powerful in Reaper 10. What I mean by that is if you play as a melee Dragon Disciple, or as some people have found, a thrower Dragon Disciple, you can get excellent results and be very, very powerful in Reaper 10. But pure caster Dragon Disciple, casting spells as your main thing, or hybrid, falls behind. It is dominant from level 1 all the way through to legendary, and is extremely powerful up through Reaper 4 content. It feels really, really good. But as you get to the higher levels, it just doesn't have the resources to be able to do everything you want it to do. From spells that just don't have enough base damage, to having just a limited spell selection, to also needing both melee and spell stats in general. The weirdest thing is Dragon Disciple actually doesn't need DCs because of how many extra DCs it gets. So, fun fact, Dragon Disciple actually gets more DCs than Sorcerer. So if you use comparable spells, you will have higher DCs on your Dragon Disciple than you will on a Sorcerer. The issue is that Sorcerers get Mass Hold Monster in addition to all of their endgame spells. Sorcerers also have just more spells to cast. A Cold Sorcerer can cast Autoluke's Freezing Sphere and Cone of Cold and the Freezing, or like the Lunar Spear and the big ice pillar and iceberg and all these other spells, whereas You only get Devastation and Cone of Cold if you want, or Autolux if you are playing as a Dragon Lord. So, or Dragon Disciple. So Dragon Disciple doesn't need a buff because Dragon Disciple is good, like right now. But some elements of Dragon Disciple are not the best in some of the end game areas where you might see stuff. And that's okay. It is okay to have things that are good, but are not the best. Acolyte of the Skin needs a little bit more than a buff. But you can just futz about with the numbers and make Acolyte of the Skin good. The main thing that hampers Acolyte of the Skin is the fact that Acolyte of the Skin gets a temporary form instead of a permanent form, and balancing, like, it's undertuned for sure, but also because it's a temporary form as opposed to a permanent form, you run into a lot of like really wacky problems. I was going to take Whirlwind Attack, but I kind of want Swords to Plowshares because Swords to Plowshares is +2 threat range. I'm not taking Whirlwind Attack, am I? No. I'll probably take Spring Attack, though. Spring Attack, good. I don't want any of these spells. I'm just going to put these in so I don't have the game yelling at me. Well, okay, so the thing about Warlock is I actually don't know. And the reason why I say I don't know is because a lot of people are not, like, very few people are actually playing Warlock at endgame with the modern changes. So yeah, where base probably should have to be at. This is DPS stream, but as supportive elements. Yep. Again, when I talk about like where I think that balance should be, I think that it is okay if not everything is good at in every capacity at the super endgame. The reason why I say that is because Reaper 10 on its initial design was intended to be a difficulty setting that was not meant to be completed by the player base at large. It was meant to be a thing that was aspirational. That's not true. The player base demolishes R10 because we're way too powerful. But that was kind of like the initial design goal of Reaper 10. And so I think that another issue is that they need a Reaper revamp as well. So it's like, you know, there's a lot of systems that need to get adjusted. But the end question for me, because there's so many things that need to be adjusted, is does the thing feel good and is it fun? And Dragon Disciple does feel good. It is fun. It has a niche. It's good for leveling. So it hits well. Yeah, moving around was amazing. DD Monk Shuriken, top tier. You make claims that are just wrong? Yes, that too.
The grinding of stones and the crackle of flame.
I don't think Dragon Lord needs a nerf, but Dragon Lord's out killing well-built Inquis in most R10s, and Inquis is getting a nerf. I am also on the same page as everybody, where I also do not understand why Inquisitive is getting nerfed. I also don't get it. But I just want to say this. If SSG decides to keep going and nerf Inquisitive, I don't think it matters at all. Inquisitive is still going to be good. I wouldn't stress about it. Question about Eldritch Blast. Do item effects that proc on spells work with Eldritch Blast? If it says on spell, yes. If it says on attack, no. And said they didn't even know if R10 could be beaten. Yeah, and then we beat it day one. Die.
Another elemental lurks ahead, watching you with eyes.
I like having evasion. It's good.
The elementals make lords summon. Only one remains in the depths of the caves.
Still hate them. They killed Lotro. Who killed Lotro? Lotro's like more popular. It's actually been gaining popularity. Fun fact, if you haven't been keeping up with Lord of the Rings, they've been having server queue issues where too many people are trying to log in, so there's actually a queue at peak hours to get onto your server. So they're going to be opening up new servers. They are losing 15 RP. What else are they going to nerf and quiz with? That's what I'm saying. That's it. Oh yeah, but that's just because Reaper 10s are like, for the most part, just numerical changes. And the problem with just changing numbers is if you don't have to change your playstyle that much, then bigger numbers will overcome the challenge. Higher difficulties need ways to challenge players to push them to do things that aren't just get more damage and get more defense. And that is a much more challenging task, I will say. To speed up Eldritch Blast, there was an enhancement that said it gave you 10% increased Eldritch Blast speed, but it actually never worked since the launch of Warlock, and they only recently got rid of it. Imagine getting a queue for DDO. I know. It's great. What a crazy thought. There's people play this too easy, but they fill in Reaper trees to make it easier. So the answer to that question, Big, is actually really easy. I think the Reaper trees are bad. I think they're just bad for the game. I don't think they're good at all. I think the idea of doing a hard mode to make the hard mode easier is super counterintuitive and makes no sense. So I actually, in no capacity, like the Reaper trees. Even though I don't like it, though, I'm going to use the Reaper tree because it's there.
Heat and steam rise from the cave entrance before you.
Like, I'm not just going to not spend my points. I don't like the fact that it makes the game easier, but the alternative is I just have less health than compared to some of my allies, so my allies don't die, and I die sometimes. So I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to, like me protesting and not using it doesn't help anybody. Yeah, cosmetics would be great. You say we're redoing your starter rogue given the balance pass upcoming? Yes. After the balance pass comes through, I will be redoing the rogue beginner basics, specifically because they're going to be making crossbows work with dexterity to hit and damage at level 1 with rogue, which is great. So the benefit of this is rogue really struggled with having a good way to get damage going at the beginning because sneak attack is hard to do in solo. If you go dex-based rogue, you oftentimes don't have all of the stats you need to be able to like trap and stuff. You can't just go intelligence-based, regardless with rogue, unless you own Harper Agent. So there's a lot of barriers to making rogue feel good with a free-to-play thing, especially because if you want to go dagger on rogue, I've mentioned this in the rogue video, like playing dagger rogue without Vistani is crazy. Like, Vistani is so good. And so just being like, hey, play assassin. But just know your character would double in power if you owned this thing. It's like so hard to recommend that. But with the new changes coming through, mechanic and everything in it will function with dexterity, which means you can play a dex rogue, go into mechanic to get all your trapping skills and get your damage and be safe. Meaning that rogues will go from having this weird, janky, choppy starter build to having something that's really solid. Pull up a crossbow, blast some people, and have a good time. So I will be, once the changes come through, I will be redoing the video as well. Original player of Lotro, they really did mess it up. I also played Lotro in the beta, so I was I've been playing for a very long time. I actually currently like the direction of Lord of the Rings Online, personal opinion, especially more recently where they've been redoing a lot of the classes and the more recent trees and updates and reworks. I've been a fan of basically every single one. So there's been some missteps over time for sure. I played Lotro right up through the Rise of Isengard expansion, and then they announced that they were doing no more dungeons and raids in Riders of Rohan, and my entire raiding guild dissolved. They all went to play Rift, and I focused on school. And by focusing on school, I mean, joke's on you, I play League of Legends. Anyway, And then I came back when the raids came back with Throne of the Dread Terror, and then came back from Mordor and kept playing ever since. And I currently really like the state the game is in. I think that the legendary weapons have been refined to a point where they actually feel really, really good and simple to engage with, but also like very impactful for your character with a lot of interesting decision making. The reworks have made all of the classes feel good. And as somebody who loves a lot of endgame, the endgame of Lord of the Rings Online has never been more varied and balanced than it is right now. Basically, for most of Lord of the Rings Online's history, class stacking has been the go-to, where you just bring all of the same class that does the most damage to every piece of raid or dungeon content. So like if you play a minstrel and you want to do damage for the majority of Lord of the Rings Online's history, you were not allowed into any groups unless you were like doing PvP out in the moors or in the weird expansions where they actually did good damage. Whereas now, almost every class can do almost all of their roles that are assigned to them. So like, there's so much flexibility, and we'll have raids where we're running every single person's a different class, and I love it. It's amazing. It's so cool. So like I'm a huge fan of that. It's been an absolute blast to see everybody doing different stuff. There's still a few things they need to iron out. They still have to make Yellow Mariner feel good, which is difficult because jugglery is a really interesting skill, but it's not good. But yeah. You're an LM? Yeah, I love the LM changes. I'm an LM too. I love my Lore Master. Being able to bring the blue pet Lore Master into raids is so cool, and feeling very versatile. In fact, when my guild was pushing Mach de Corbo, which is the previous endgame raid on tier 5, I actually cleared it on my Lore Master because my blue Lore Master was instrumental being able to use a Murder of Crow, or is it Murder of Crows, which we just call Crothies because it's the same thing as Oathbreakers. Because Crothies has such a short cooldown, because you can reduce the cooldown with critical hits, and you have the pet swapping, so I could both whip out the cat for single target damage, then I could swap to Bog Lurker, pop the tentacles that were holding people in place. God, blue Lore Master feels insane. Whereas if I ask somebody to let me bring my blue Lore Master, my pet Lore Master, into a raid, the answer is no. Sorry. You can bring blue Lore Master if by blue you mean play yellow, and yes, you can come. Did it go? Yep, I agree. So yeah, the new patch looks good. Anyway, also, as I said, I'm not trying to like trample on your feelings. I can totally understand why, if you're somebody, there were a lot of people that when the Lore Master changes were coming through were very upset because red Lore Masters were no longer allowed to have constant pets in Lord of the Rings Online, and I understand that that was a big blow for many people that like to play red and just have their pet that literally had no function. I get that. It's cool to have your pet hang out with you. Again, totally understand that. For me, as a raid guy, that's my bias. I'm a raid guy. I like the raid. I like the dungeon. That's what I like to do. That's where my bias lies. It was a huge update because you went from Lore Masters only being allowed to come to raids doing one role, which was the debuffer role, to now Lore Masters are used in all 3 roles all the time, which is really, really cool, and it feels really good. I went on a big rant, but I love it. Helps you people out some fun. I was a gambler. You should try out Blue Burglar. They recently redid Burglar. Oh, Blue Burglar's sick. It's really good in PvP. But like I said, that's my personal bias, and I would never try to like diminish the experiences that other people have or the things that they like. So obviously if oh, I have a favorite weapon. Evil damage. If you've been playing Lord of the Rings Online for a long time, and it's very difficult when something happens and a change happens to a character that you enjoy, and you can't go back to the way it was because that's not how MMOs work. MMOs only move forward. And it's one of the things I actually love about DDO, which I appreciate a lot, which is that even if a character changes, I can always change into something else, at least on my same character. But it's not always the case. For example, when I used to play World of Warcraft, I played with a guy who, like my guild leader, and I met him when he was playing Monk. But he was like a original WoW player, and he had done every single raid on the hardest difficulty on his warrior. His warrior, who also had like all the mounts. So his warrior had like all the mounts, and everything. But there was a change that came through. I can't remember what the change was, but there was basically a change that happened in like either Cataclysm or Pandaria that I think it was like the stance change where they got rid of all the stances, that basically he was like, it's not the same character that I played before. I don't like it. And so he quit. He quit playing as warrior and he never went back. So he has this warrior with all these like old items, these really cool showy things that he just doesn't log into, and it just collects dust because they changed the character and it doesn't feel the same anymore and he can't go back. And that does suck. You know, and there's no real substitute for that kind of like magical feeling when you start playing a game for the first time and then you find something that you like really connect with and then like all of a sudden it's gone. Like that one's tough. I'm very fortunate in that I'm a complete and total sociopath and I have no connections to anything like that. So when stuff changes, I'm just like, ooh, new toy. But I do also understand that, you know, I'm in the minority here. And, you know, feeling attached to something you spend a lot of time doing is also, it's a big thing. So I totally get it. You want level a shuriken in a long time? No. First class in Lotro is Weaver, but it feels very weak until you hit endgame. Yeah. Yeah. I actually don't know how spiders feel right now. It's a good question. I don't play spider though. Waiting for Cash to use staff and sword. Hell yeah, dude. Sword and staff. Also, what's up, Freeling? How you doing? Well, Gandalf isn't a Lord Master. Gandalf is a wizard. He's like a demigod. Do barbarians just not have trances and only rage, or do you have to juggle it? Trances are not exclusive with rage. So on most barbarians will grab a trance. Oftentimes it will be the Harper trance because it's only 8 points, or 7 if you're a maniac, where what you do is you have full item swaps, and then you swap in a whole bunch of int gear, you slam your Harper trance, you swap everything off. You can't use the strength trance, right? So you can't use the Dragon Lord one, but you can use all the other ones. Yeah, the only one you're locked out of is the strength one. They just want to make it so that strength stacking got even harder, so you couldn't strength stack rage with the strength trance. But like all the other ones are fine. So like Deadly Instinct here, Battle Trance, you can use this while raging. There's no consequence. It's just the dragon might thing. That's all. Anyway, what am I doing here? Points to spend. Don't get distracted. I like having the Apostate's Curse as my imbue. It's kind of sick, actually. But I should really spend points in Falconry, because I want the AoE. I want Coordinated Strikes. Does TPS possibly use the Charisma Trance just so you can rage? Yep. Yeah, rage is good. I'm going to put the 1 point here just for the healing app, and so I go later, but I think that's a good start. 3 Dragon Lord is goated. Well, you can't use the Strength Trance, so no, not really. Because the Strength Trance is exclusive with raging. I gotta level up as Cleric. Oh yeah, it's my R, that's what it is. I'm a normie, so I use the normie words. Okay, now I can start putting points into heal. Ho ho ho! Give me that negative spell power, buddy.
Something strange has been sighted off the coast of Stonereach.
Oh, and I'm level 7, so now I can spend this point for 20 extra negative amp. Sneak attack dice, and +1 to, or +2 to hit.
Dinosaurs in danger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah, the reason why they did that, Horse, is specifically to spite you. They actually knew SSG was in their mind palace, and they were like, Horse wants to play barbarians. He loves barbarians. Let's make a thing that's a landmine that'll trip him up. Something that'll like, it's like the ultimate mousetrap. You go, oh, I can use this. It's strength, and I'm a rager. It's amazing. And then you don't read enough. Boom. Takes you out. I'm sorry that this had to happen to you, Horse, especially in such a public place where now everybody can point and laugh at you. I apologize that that happened to you, but listen, it's okay. We all have that happen, you know? Oh, my elemental bloom! Yay, game is over. All right, so for those that don't know, this is the elemental bloom. It is a quarterstaff. The elemental bloom is a quarterstaff. Somebody was asking me what staff I'm going to use. This weapon is a 19 to 20 times 3. Quarterstaffs are a 20 times 2. Because this is a 19 to 20 times 3, it means that I get 1 extra crit multi, and my critical threat range is actually higher. But wait, there's more. It's a D8. Why? I don't know. It's a D8 instead of a D6, even more damage. But wait, there's more. It has paralyzing, which means every time I hit an enemy, they have to make a save or become paralyzed. Later on, it's not going to hit anything, but if an enemy rolls a 1, it's going to get them no matter what level they are. And at the level I'm at, people are going to fail their saves all the time. Animals, terrible will saves. And then on top of that, it's got body feeder. If I get a crit, I get 15 temp HP. So it's going to keep me alive. Oh, also it has bewildering. It drains wisdom. So the longer a fight lasts, the more likely they are to fail their save. It's sick. So now I have a 17 to 20 times 3 weapon. Broken. Target barbarians because you have to read to see it. True. Yeah, reading. Is it a greatsword? It's not. It's no Sword of Shadow. Well, we can weekend stream without lag now? Oh, yeah. Dude, there's like no lag in DDO anymore. It's great. Again, this week, there's been a couple hitches that have made me kind of nervous. But that's it. Just a couple hitches. Yeah, Kongors with Battle Mage is really interesting. Because it's so much flat fizz. Oh, at low tilt, think about the fizz. Did I explain my brainworm? Okay, my brainworm is that I got a Forbidden Shaco with a level 35 Prismatic Burst for 5 divines. So I want to make the Prismatic Burst build, but then I was trying to rationalize it by using a I was trying to rationalize using it, but I ran into the major issue that what do you call it? Saboteur just isn't good, even if I want the trigger bots. But it occurred to me, because I was looking at some other build for Horse, that the Perfect Crime Forbidden Flesh, Forbidden Flame is a total of like 70 chaos, which means I can just play an assassin and get trigger bots. So it's back. The brainworm is back. Anyway, some people are asking, where do you get Elemental Bloom? It comes from the Temple of Elemental Evil. Where? That's not clear. The wiki has information of areas that have been confirmed, but there's just information that it does drop in there. I actually don't know. This one is very old. Temple of Elemental Evil is level 8. Oh, Hiereglis chest? Nice. Okay, the Earth Dragon. There you go. So that's how you're going to get your Elemental Bloom. So that's where you get it. It's a level 8 quest. You can go farm it out. What's this one? Oh, dude. You can't shame me with your beautiful Elemental Bloom. Look at this. It's got Freezing Ice, Curse of Major Charisma, +2 Charisma. It's got the Sacred Fist, Ghost Touch, and Lawful Good. It's got the Dark Apostate Vulnerability stacking and Curse application, as well as just generally Apostate's Curse. It's got improved Shadow Blade, so it applies Shatter Mantle. Oh my lord. Okay, so if you did not know, and it's Adamantine Ritual too, there are some effects you can get in the game where if you reincarnate, they will stick on the weapon. So for example, if you're a Dark Apostate and you take all these abilities here, up to Enhanced Curse 2, actually, and up to Ultimate Heresy, you take all of this, and then you have it in your hands when you reincarnate. Even though you're not a Dark Apostate, the game will not remove these effects from the item. And then you do it with Sacred Fist. And then you do it with the Shadow Blades. And you just keep going. They've been trying to chase these down. It's not as bad as it used to be. They used to be able to freeze Epic Destiny abilities on stuff, and that got really out of hand. You also used to be able to freeze Arborea, which is another one. So Arborea gave you the +2 to hit and damage, which was pretty good. So anyway, they chase all these things down. There's so many things that get stuck that I don't know if they'll ever fix it. All of them. So just enjoy it. Just have fun. Play with your toys. Anyway, okay. Well, I don't really have anything else I want to do, and I'm kind of, what's the best way to describe it? I'm out of time. I was only going to stream for like a little bit today because I had some free time, but now I'm out of free time. So I think, unfortunately, it's actually going to be the end of the stream for here for the weekend. So that's it. I did say earlier in the stream that I was only streaming for a little bit, but yeah. But we'll be back, of course, later in the week. I'm not streaming tomorrow because I actually have some stuff to do, and I actually have some stuff to do on Monday as well. But you can see me back again next week. So I'll be streaming like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I'll be back. If you want more Stream Tom content, I'm posting a new Beginner Basics video tomorrow for everybody's favorite class, Favorite Soul. That's right, you're getting Favorite Soul tomorrow, so that's exciting. And then I also have the Blight Blade Dragon Lord Blightcaster Wild Mage build to put up as well, so I'm excited to get that out for you. Hopefully, if we have a Lamania next week, I will also get a preview kind of breakdown of what the patch is going to look like, update 76, and kind of what are like the overarching things and kind of ideas for builds that might come out of that. I didn't make a video yet, mostly because I knew we were going to get a updated version of that list. There were a lot of like requests and wishes that are put up by the community and some other good ideas, that things that people caught. So that is good. Oh God, what is this? How did you get air guard on a ring? Oh no, this is fine. This is just, you just crafted this. Anyway, but yeah, that's all I have. So, wait, is this no stats? It just has air guard? How did you do this? Dude, there's some cool items in DDO. This is why, like, if there was an actual, like, economy, some people have some weird ancient stuff that's so cool. There's some really weird ancient things that some people have in their inventories that just don't work anymore. Oh, and you can't craft on it? Oh, that's a huge bug. Oh, you can. Okay, yeah. Can and can't are very similar. Anyways, yeah, but that's it. Yeah, so I hope you guys had a good time. Again, normally I don't stream on the weekend, and it is not because I don't want to, but it's just usually my girlfriend is off. It's just she's on nights, so that's why we are doing this instead. Yusuke, are you streaming? Oh, he is. Did you just start streaming just now? Oh my God. How would you feel if I raided your channel? Would you like that? Also, Daybreak Games is streaming DC Universe Online into the DDO channel. That's kind of cool. Been on for 10 hours? No, it says 10 minutes. It says 10 minutes on my stream. It says 10 minutes. We're going to raid Yusuke because he just started streaming. He just started streaming for 10 minutes. So we'll give him, show him some love, you guys. You know, he just turned on the live stream. So just give him some love because, you know, make sure he's got, just to pump him up, give him that energy so we can go from 10 minutes, 10 and a half minutes to like maybe even 20 and a half minutes. That'd be kind of sick. So yeah, hopefully it's a good time. But yeah, like I said, I know I'm ending stream earlier than some people want, but it do be like that sometimes because I am unfortunately I have other stuff going on, so I can't sit here even longer. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. We had a fantastic time, and thank you for joining me on the unexpected Saturday live stream. Okay, I gotta hit the button. I can't do that. Okay, bye. And then we turn off the Twitch chat. Boom, Twitch is gone. God, get out of here. Oh wait, I'm still streaming on YouTube, and I forgot to turn off the YouTube stream. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you had a good time. Again, we'll be back later with some more stuff. I only streamed for like a few hours, so it was a good time, but that's pretty much all we have. But yeah, we'll be back later on in the week. So again, thank you guys for watching. Enjoy yourself. Have a good time. Usually I use the like the end of stream button, but I kind of spaced on doing that because I was busy talking about things and discussing things. But yeah, new video tomorrow. So be excited about that, as I'm excited about it too. Anyways, bye-bye. See you later.